Accused bear witness to their trials. The time of the Inquisition is now at hand. Putting pop culture to the rack, the Inquisition calls to account the events of the week, rooting out heresy wherever it is found. I am Grand Inquisitor Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and joining me for tonight's torture is Nerdrotic Channel's Grand Inquisitor Gary Beekler. Gary, it's a lot of heresy this week.
Crimes against canon, crimes against humanity, crimes against mythology. What the hell is going on? And then we actually get a good movie somewhere in between there too.
Sandwiched in by accident. Like they stumbled across it. They were cleaning out the Warner Brothers vault and they stumbled across an unseen film from the 70s that, just totally turns cinema on its ear. It's an indictment against the mediocrity of modern cinema. And Warner Brothers just accidentally just decides, hey, well, we'll release it. What the fuck? And then all of a sudden, it's a smash, proving once and for all that quality is still marketable.
It still is, and Warner Brothers, to their credit, came out with this film and busted the Access Media narrative. The Access Media, who feel probably betrayed at this moment in time because they've been such good little sports and supporters of these corporations. And I hope the Access Media wakes up and realizes they don't need to toe the party line either, because these corporations will shed them the minute they don't need them anymore. And the corporations are finding out that they don't need these. Now, they've been, like, again, willing little partners and great free advertising, but we see the great shift to interactive media where you can talk to the critic or a person just talking about a film, just a fan, just a fellow fan. And the times, they are a-changing, my friend. They are a-changing.
And I think they are, man. Chappelle fired that shot across the bow. Bill Burr kind of picked up some rocks and hurled them from his ship. And now, holy crap, a film that has no woke agenda. None that I could see.
No, it had a couple little things, but it wasn't part of the agenda. It was more part of the story.
Right.
And if you look at it, there was no good. I think Zazie Beetz was probably the only good character in this, and she wasn't what she seemed. So I don't want to get too far. I don't know, it's Sunday, so we're probably going to talk some spoilers about it, but we'll try to refrain as much as possible to those of you who haven't seen it.
Right.
But God, go see that movie. It's mind blowing, and it's because it didn't reinvent the wheel or anything like that. It just was good. So maybe that is reinventing the wheel in 2019. I don't know.
It is because, look, in a time of lies, telling the truth is a revolutionary act.
Mm-hmm.
And in a time of crap, quality is a revolutionary act. And this thing feels like a goddamn revolution. There are depths in this thing that I tell you, I'm releasing my detailed analysis of the film tomorrow. And I'm just like, as I'm writing it, as I'm recording it, I'm coming up with more things that hadn't occurred to me. This is a film of great depths, and it takes several viewings to get to the bottom of them. I mean, I've only seen it once, but being a supervillain, I'm more perceptive than normal humans, so I get a little bit more. But I tell you, I'm embarrassed that I'm not getting it all. I know I'm not. There's more stuff in there that a second or a third viewing will reveal. And maybe I'll make a second or a third video. I don't know, but it's worth analysis. It's worth respect, and it's worth seeing. Definitely support Joker.
Could not agree more. And I focused mostly on Joaquin's performance. And I'm like you, I know I missed a ton of Easter eggs and a bunch of stuff. I want to find more of the giant rats that were running around, because they were all over the film. That was pretty funny. The super rats.
Yes. Perhaps a rebuke to Disney in some form. I don't know. I'd like to think so. Little rats running through the heart of cinema, trying to tear it to the bone.
Oh, I think you're spot on with that analysis. I didn't think about that, but now that you bring it up, I'm all, oh yeah, that was definitely a shot, especially with Scorsese coming out and
and shitting on Marvel movies. And by the way, Anti-Trekker, hello, Anti-Trekker. Good to see you, my friend. I'm glad that you are out of your hospital or surgery, whatever was going on there. God bless you, man. Good to see you here.
Yes, get better, Anti-Trekker.
Absolutely.
You got to get those streams going again. You and Bird of Prey 5. And today there is a lot. So I am on 4 or 5 hours sleep. I've been home for about 4 or 5 hours. I did a live stream last night, recorded a video for the short trek, which will be out tomorrow morning. Got on the plane and zonked out for a little bit, and then woke up when we hit turbulence and stayed up, got home, fell asleep in my chair for like a minute, and then we're doing this. So, but there's a lot to talk about. There's no shortage of news. We have the Star Trek Picard trailer that we're going to discuss. We have the Star Trek Discovery trailer we're going to discuss. You just watched the short trek, which was mind-bendingly bad.
Oh, yeah! Jesus! And that was by Michael Chabon.
Yep.
The savior in the promised land that has come to go ahead and fix what Kurtzman broke, to unfuckify what Kurtzman fucked. And you know what? God, good luck. Good luck. This is just unbearable. Unbearable, incompetent. He's done 2 of this shit now. He did Calypso, which was the best Star Trek Discovery ever made because it didn't have any of the cast of Star Trek Discovery in it. So by dint of that, it was the best. But now he's gone ahead and shown just how badly he can destroy Star Trek just with a smile. Just with a smile, Gary. With a smile and a song, he completely makes everything wrong.
So you didn't think they could destroy Spock any more than they have? They said, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Let's get the guy who's going to... I'll be honest with you, everybody here. I saw the Picard trailer, and it wasn't horrible. As just a trailer, if I tried to clear my mind of all Kurtzman and stuff, and I watched it as a trailer, I'm like, okay. I mean, him fencing looked pretty terrible, but there's moments of it that, shit, I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm a sucker for this stuff. But then I saw the short trek, and I realized who's running the show, and all my hopes were completely dashed, and they were small. I mean, these weren't big hopes, by the way. We're talking like percentage points, maybe not even that, but they were dashed after watching the short trek because what they did to Spock was unforgivable in this. It was more of this pushing of the agenda of, it's more the Time's Up Me Too stuff where any white male character has to have a vastly superior woman behind him being his mentor. One thing we've lost from Hollywood, and we're, thankfully we still have this in real life, is male mentorship. And there's nothing wrong with female mentorship. We've got moms. I understand that. We're not saying that's bad, but the not including male mentorship, and this is brought up in the Doctor Who debate. This is why, it is important because we are different. Believe it or not, this shit hasn't hit Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, where we have men's only meetings, women's only meetings. We have, because it's important to not, because when men and women get together, obviously, if they're straight, there's problems that can mess with sobriety. So it's important to have that, right? Yeah. And, it's just being erased from Hollywood right now. Good fathers are being erased from Hollywood. It's been, a long time since, and when we do have a good father, it's rare. It does happen, but it's an outlier. Right. Usually the father's gone, drunk, abusive, sure. A perv, and to get it back to Spock, though, Spock comes in, this green boy, and he's
right off the farm, Gary.
Yeah, right. But goddamn, did you catch they contradict themselves within the same line? Within the same line, there's a part where number one is talking to Spock, and she says, the strength of Starfleet is our diversity and our differences, and I would never ask you to suppress any part of your true nature. And in the very next sentence, she goes, But if you want to be a good commander, you got to suppress your freaking.
Put the bottle on that shit, Spock. On that shit. And then it's like, he laughs, he smiles at her, which is never gonna this is a absolute rape of Spock. It's a rape of the character of Spock. I'm sorry. Rape is a violation of the fundamental soul, not just of the body, but of the soul. And I'm telling you that Spock would never, ever, ever sing and smile and dance and caper and frolic with somebody that he just met, his superior officer, beam aboard smiling, for God's sakes. Oh my God. And then on the bridge in the end, the denouement, where it's like, I don't know. I can't remember the exact line, but it was like, so Spock having an emotional fit, and Spock saying, "No, sir, not anymore." And he looks over at number one and winks. And then they freeze frame of him jumping in the air like Mary Tyler Moore, tossing her fucking cap. Yeah.
Like at the end of Police Squad where they'd all freeze,
exactly. Like
was...
and they just freeze. Yeah, exactly. God almighty. He smiles at her. He smiles at her on the bridge.
On the bridge. He starts out. So I don't know what is wrong with Kurtzman, why he needs to. For one, he focuses on Cage Spock. This is all from The Cage, which was all a mistake, which was never supposed to be canon, which was not supposed to be part of the goddamn show. And you've told the story of how he discovered Spock. And they want to harp on this. Why? Because they just seem so hell-bent on making Spock vulnerable. Well, you can. I don't think they can figure out how to write him. And listen, they've tried with Michael Burnham, and maybe they just feel like they failed with her, and they think it's just their writing or their character and not just the actress, maybe. I don't know, or the actor. I don't understand why they just need to have Spock laughing and singing and crying. And he was envious too. He was envious. They're trying to give him every emotion in 14 minutes of airtime. And it's spectacular that they can't tell a cohesive story within 14 minutes, but they can destroy a character in 5.
He'll destroy your canon all day long, baby.
All day long. And it almost felt like, you know what? It felt like a troll job. It felt like a fracking troll. As a matter of fact, there was a troll to Star Trek fans when Spock brings up the Prime Directive, and she goes, "Don't even bother trying to figure it out." It's like, I know what that was. They're obviously, as a matter of fact, I know they're listening. I know they're freaking listening because I've been told by people very close to them, and not just the unnamed sources. They are listening. They are watching. We do get under their skin, and that's a quote. So maybe we're just living in their heads right now, and we are,
and so they're like
puppet masters
writing shit just to piss us off. All it does is give us stuff to talk about. I mean, it's not hurting us so much. Listen, the damage is done. Star Trek is written off. Okay, I mean, you can stop like trying now to suck. You suck. You've achieved it. You don't have to try. You suck. Congratulations. You've blown Star Trek. You've destroyed Star Trek, and you don't have to try. Don't go changing to try and please me. You've never let me down before. You suck. It's just the way it is, man. Justice for Nas. Damn right.
For Nas.
Justice for Nas. And if Chabon is listening, let me tell you something, Chabon. I'm not a hater. I read Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. Personally, I felt that Derby Dugan's Depression Funnies was better, but I have to say that your take on a Superman, the mythos of that was quite well done. It sure as hell didn't deserve the acclaim it got, but it was good. It was a good, solid piece of writing. However, this is what happens when you write something fuck all about. You're embarrassing yourself. If you ever want to credibly work on genre stuff again, you need to walk away from this train wreck because you're not good enough to go ahead and just wing it. This sucked. I could definitely improv right off the top of my head, a better conversation between number one and Spock on a turbo lift than was in that fucking episode. It was a disgrace. It was ridiculous. They're spouting a Trek no babble at each other in the turbo lift. It used to be that they had, when they were stuck on the Next Generation, they would just have to crank that shit out, not voluntarily, with only 14 minutes to fill, 14 minutes of valuable time. That some geek who is a writer with some soul, who actually gives a shit about what they're doing, who would like view that as the break of a lifetime. You just treated like a piece of toilet paper. You wiped your ass with it and you tossed it. Fuck you. Fuck you, Chabon. Jesus Christ. Shouldn't you be ashamed? Have you no regard for yourself or your fucking craft? Have you no respect for the English language, for dramaturgy, for the fucking legacy of not only your own writing, but of Star Trek? You're an embarrassment. How could you shit the bed like this and not hang your head in shame? Seriously, I'm not joking. I'm not trolling. I'm serious. What the fuck are you thinking? What the fuck are you thinking? Cranking out some piece of shit like that, knowing that that's not Spock. You know, you've never watched Star Trek before. You know you didn't. You weren't a fan. They didn't even try to spin it when you were coming on board saying, oh, he loved Star Trek as a kid, like they do with Kurtzman, who knows fuck all about Star Trek. They didn't even try that. They weren't even that cynical with you. And you're just over there and you're doing your best. On when you had Calypso, you did your best not to have to work with Star Trek because you wrote something that had nothing to do with Star Trek. It was a generic science fiction story about a guy who wakes up with a computer and the computer wants to dance, wants to be a little bit human, is lonely. It had nothing to do with Star Trek at all. Then you wipe the sweat from your brow and you said, whew, I dodged that bullet. Well, guess what? That bullet hit you tonight with Q&A. Fuck you.
He probably was asked to write that script for Calypso and thought he'd never do one again. He's like, I'll just put this in. And then he got the phone call. You want to run a Star Trek show? What? Sure. Nobody turns down that job.
His greed made him do it, but he didn't know anything about it. No. That's the first lesson, Gary. Write what you know. Write what you know, and you know fuck all about Star Trek, Chabon. What the fuck?
Do some research. I mean, you could tell that script was written hastily. And I mean, this as a writer, and he should know this too. It should have been the single easiest thing to write. It's a conversation in the elevator, and they threw in 50 things because that's typical Kurtzman. Why don't you guys stick to one? Why don't you just find one idea that works and stick with it? Take baby steps, because for one, you all need to go back. Fuck canon camp. You need to go to Star Trek camp. You all need to go away for 6 months to a year. Treat it like a rehab. And have Star Trek counselors there teaching you fucking Star Trek, because for one, you guys need to watch all the episodes. And yes, if you are the purveyor, if you run a Star Trek TV show and you are like the Kevin Feige of Star Trek, like Kurtzman, your ass had better have watched every episode of every Star Trek and fan films and read most of the damn books at least twice each. And you should know them up and down. And I'm with you, man. I don't think Chabon has watched every episode of Star Trek. I know Kurtzman has not watched every episode of Star Trek, and I don't think or any. And I definitely maybe a few episodes of the original series, but it sounds like it really feels like this is Star Trek produced by people who were told about Star Trek from a fan, like a fan described an episode to them. That's their Star Trek knowledge.
I don't think of fan. I think it's a synopsis by the marketing department or something.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Or reading the back of the video, boxes for an episode. Oh, okay. City on the Edge of Forever uses the Guardian to go back in time and kill Edith Keeler. Gotcha. Okay, so this guy's a woman killer. Okay.
Yeah. Spock is logical and he asks a lot of questions. So let's have number one inspire him to ask a lot of questions.
Right.
Which he doesn't really do. I mean, that's one of those, it's kind of what's the term for urban legend of Star Trek, where it's kind of like Kirk sleeping with a woman every episode, which he doesn't really do. I mean, he gets,
No, I know exactly. Yeah. It's like that,
but
that
it's over
apocrypha.
exaggerated. Yeah,
right. It's bullshit. You know, it's too late. It's too late for them to go to Star Trek camp, dude. It's too late.
Oh God, yeah.
It's too late. I mean, what they really need is to go to Star Trek camp with the Star Trek camp counselors, and then Star Trek Jason needs to show up and give them his hockey masked critique of their work one by one. That's what has to happen. Star Trek Jason.
So yeah, the short trek was bad, folks. I don't know if you've got that. It was
beyond the farthest bad. It was city on the edge of suck. It was mirror suck. It was a suck time.
What have I said? The worst thing Star Trek can do under Kurtzman to itself is produce more Star Trek. There's nothing I can say or Doomcock can say or any critic could say any worse than their actual work that they produce and present to the fans. And it's going to be Fan pretty soon. The Fan. I was at New York Comic-Con. I was there the day of the big Star Trek event. I saw a one cosplayer in an original series, and the only cosplayer I saw prior to that was 2 days before. It was a 65-year-old woman in a Next Generation uniform. She looked great. Good for her. But I mean, that it looked like Star Trek Las Vegas. And again, Star Trek Las Vegas was not that long ago. And they saved all this, how people who paid thousands of dollars to go to Star Trek Las Vegas, man, do you feel fucked over now or what? Because you were completely fucked over. They knew they were going to get your money and they didn't show you shit. They could have shown any of this stuff there. It was a month and a half ago or so. It wasn't that long ago. They could have had a rough clip, something, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe the reshoots weren't finished for Picard. I don't know. But yeah, that was pretty messed up. And nobody was talking because they got outshined by The Expanse. The Expanse fucking schooled them and obliterated them on Saturday. So, and that's the way it goes.
I am angered by this greatly. I'm greatly angered by this short trek. Thanks for relighting the fire under me. I actually have been holding off on a Star Trek Discovery video, but I think I'm going to fucking make it this week because you fuckers deserve this. You really do. I'm so goddamn sick of this shit. Fuck you. I'm sorry.
No, I think we're done being soft on you.
No, yeah, no more Mr. Nice Doomcock.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, that was bad. And as we spoke about prior to the show, sometimes it's difficult to articulate how bad this show is. And you saw, a lot of reviewers have gone through this. It's not just us, where it's like there's so many bad things, and every second of it, it's impossible to cover it all. And we're talking about, you and I have been going on for minutes now on a 14-minute episode. that they wasted 14 minutes. They couldn't just have two people sitting down and talking and getting to know each other. That's all they needed to do. No, they had let's make Spock smile. They have to hit their beats. They're so freaking terrible. They are like the trash pop producers. I'm not trying to rub anything into anybody. I was lucky I got there, and thanks to John F. Trent for saving me a seat. I got to see The Expanse, but seeing The Expanse on the same day I saw that short trek, I really saw the difference. And it was sad because Star Trek should be as good as The Expanse, and especially when The Expanse is run by a Star Trek person. Mm-hmm. And when that Star Trek person during the panel said, "Oh, The Expanse is much more difficult," he said, they were talking about keeping track of canon, and he's all, canon was difficult, but he said the Expanse is way more difficult because we're trying to really get the science right as much as we can. And, mm-hmm. I don't know if that was a backhanded slap or what, but, thankfully, folks, it's not woke, at least in the first episode. It's not woke. I was so happy. Why in
God's name would they go woke on it when it already depicts a absolute
it's a good question.
Woke-topia? I mean, but it's so integrated and it's so diverse that they don't even have to make a big deal about it. They don't have to virtue signal, and that is the strength of it. None of us, we're not really at all racist or sexist in the Fandom Menace because all we want is a good story. And I mean, you can have any race, any gender, in any percentage that you want. If you're not like hating on white people and you are basically depicting a future where everybody is just a human being, fuck, I'm good. I'm more than good. I love it.
And it's as you pointed out, is, you know, we still found ways to hate each other in The Expanse. In the future, it just wasn't racial, it's class, and it's done really well. So again, if you are sitting this show out and you're not sure, it's I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this, but it's starting to venture into territory where it's getting better in the books, because the books are fantastic through the first 5 books, and then they get a little woke. The show can't do that because of the way the books are structured. You couldn't change the show like they do in the books, or the show would fall apart. You still have to focus on the crew of the Rocinante. And it was a perfect episode. It was probably one of the best episodes of The Expanse, period. You guys are going to just be ready. Be excited. Oh my God, it's good. It's phenomenal. John F. Trent was raving about it. Everybody was freaking out about it. So, and then it just makes Star Trek, you know, I want Star Trek to be good. You want Star Trek to be good. But we're not going to lie to you. This is Alex Kurtzman and Michael Chabon. You know, sure, I held out hope too. And again, you know, I saw the Picard trailer prior to watching the short trek. So I was like, you know, I don't have a lot of complaints about this trailer. The only thing I'm going to say is I know it's going to probably suck because Alex Kurtzman's involved, but they managed to cut scenes together that didn't make me want to, you know, pull my hair out or anything like that. And it, you know, of course the member berries in it. And I understand that. But as I spoke to you prior to the show, I said this on the live stream last night, you can tell that they were all hastily brought onto set, and these reshoots with all the Next Generation members, which weren't originally going to be in the show at all. Doomcock, remember, none of them were going to be in it, and they and I'm of the belief that if they had really done a true Next Generation reunion, they would have given these actors ample notice so they could hit the gym a little bit. Quit drinking.
Pastify, Gary?
Yes.
Pastify?
There was puffy pasty ness going on there. So and listen, I promise you the Riker Troy thing was probably thrown together in what, days? That's what I heard. I heard it was like thrown together in like 3 or 4 days.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure. Yep. Which just guarantees, Gary, the integrity of the narrative that they're producing. It is not obligatory or cursory to include Riker and Troy in this story. Hell no, they were always integral to the plot, and not just tacked on for marketing purposes to assuage, Trekkies who are suspecting that maybe this is Jake out of Luke Picard rather than Jean-Luc Picard, 25% different, Kurtzmanized bullshit version. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I think that Rob spoke about this a little bit last night. I think the 25% got confirmed. I think the Prime Canon stuff got confirmed recently with so they were talking about it at Con.
Oh yeah.
And it's a Kurtzman quote where they directly connect it to 2009 Star Trek, which directly connects it to the Prime Canon, which is that contract that, of course, they're never going to talk about it openly. So if any of the people who criticize us and love to take CBS at their word, if you want to be a little corporate, lemming, go ahead. But it's, Tom talked about this. They'll never give it to us, and I don't care. But it's clearly there. There's no reason to change as much as they have. Certainly you want to modernize some stuff, but they've changed some stuff ridiculously. Like the Klingons, just to begin with. Doomcock, you know who I met this weekend?
Who did you meet?
Loquacious Primate.
Loquacious Primate, hail Loquacious One.
Dude, that he's cool. He's very cool. And when you were talking about writing what Loquacious Primate is he's been, went to NYU. He's a genius. And we were talking about consciousness and stuff, and I'm fascinated about the subject, but I would never try to write a paper on it because it would be laughed at, scorned, and it should be. I'm not going to try to do something I can't. And I still don't understand. It's got to be Alex Kurtzman's ego. It's just, that's it. The reason he doesn't bring in Star Trek people to work on it because he'll be exposed as the, I mean, he's already exposed himself though at this point. I mean, swallow your pride, dude. The thing is, this is going to fracking destroy Star Trek. Like we might not get any more after this. This might seal the deal.
One can hope at this point. Listen,
yeah.
If this is it, I'd rather not have it at all.
Yeah,
I'd rather not have it at all. I mean, it's that simple. That's simple. It's kind of like if a farmer comes and he slops a whole bucket of shit in your trough, and you and your brother go up to the trough and you say, "Well, this is shit," and then the brother says, "Well, don't complain. We might not get any more." That's basically what they're doing. I mean, fans, STD. It's like, oh, well, you're not a true fan of excrement if you're complaining about it. Gosh, if you complain about it, we might not get any more.
Well, we're not getting any more. Like you just said, we're not getting any more Star Trek. We're getting something labeled as Star Trek. It is and for one, they're trying to make Star Trek for Star Wars fans. No Star Wars fans are watching this shit. You know how many people in the fandom menace go, I don't watch Star Trek. I don't like that new shit. And well, a lot of them listen to us, which is smart. But, as you were talking about before, I met a lot of members of the Fandom Menace again this weekend in 2 different meetups and at the show. And dude, God, I got pulled aside in the city. That was weird. Nothing connected to the show at all. And all makes and sizes, we are the Fandom Menace. All makes and sizes and persuasions, and all are welcome here. There is no gatekeeping here. I mean, dude, you can like what you like, hate what you hate, but what we're about is respecting the fan and respecting our modern mythology. And it is important to us. Look at these giant cons that keep happening and thousands of people go to. You're not going to have that in 10 years with the crap we're getting now. I mean, none of it's built to last at all. And this is why it's probably not good for a giant corporation to run. I know a giant corporation can't run a franchise. It's got to be somebody who's, singular minded, or the actual creator, him or herself, running it, or it just gets naturally turned to shit. Corporations don't understand us. They never will understand us. And more importantly, they don't want to. They have no desire. They have all the time in the world to research. They don't have to put out these movies every 2 years. They don't have to stick to release dates. You could change a fucking release date. We were talking about this last night. They used to have tiered release dates for films. They would release them in the big cities first, and then all this crap that we have. It's just so banker. It's so, I don't know. When you corporatize art too much, this is what you get. And thankfully, like the Joker came in and on a weird level, it did something very Joker, to entertainment, which was cool as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Fizenthorpe. I met him too. I'll get to your super chat in a minute. Somebody's put in a super chat that concerns me here. Hang on. I want to get the reference to this. So we're going to start out, Mr. Samuel Platinum. I'll get to yours next, but I want to start out with Michael Maloney for $10. Hail DVD. Sent you Life Rules of Evil Overlords via Patreon. A must from the ancient days of RPG history. Check it out. And then he says, also, YouTube seems to be blocking your name again. Anyone else getting that in the super chat? Ask Michael Maloney. And that was for $10 and for $5. So, Michael, you don't have to give another super chat. Throw that in the chat. What do you mean by blocking his name? Because of Doomcock? Are they like shadow banning him?
Doomcocks in the chat? I mean, in the chat or in the super chats that you see.
Yeah, I don't know what he means by blocking your name. I don't know if it's shadow.
I don't know, like they won't let him post it or something. I mean, I've heard this before, but I don't know, because then I see it. I mean, I don't know.
YouTube in chat, and usually the mods take care of it, right? They'll whatever's questionable, they'll hold it for a mod to okay it. Mods, let me know if that's happening. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Mr. Samuel Platinum for $2. DC, have you seen Demon Slayer yet?
Not yet. I did not, but today I watched season 3 of Goliath on Amazon Prime with Billy Bob Thornton. Season 3 of Goliath, amazing. amazing. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I think it really wraps up the whole, like the first and second season. It might be the last season. I don't know. Holy crap. Let me tell you something, dude. It is like David Lynch meets Goliath. This third season, there is so much Lynchian shit in there that you are not going to believe it. You would think that David Lynch directed the entire season. I swear to God, it's fantastic. Lawrence Trilling, the director, obviously had a lot of love for Twin Peaks and for Blue Velvet. And I mean, it's even got like directly singing Candy Colored Clown at one point in the casino. It is fantastic, folks. Okay, Doomcock. It looks like we're good.
It looks like we're okay. I love how Tom just went cock.
Cock. Hey, lady.
Let's make our we also have to make our special announcement because hey lady. So we're gonna have a set time. We're gonna stop tonight because we're gonna take a break. We're gonna watch Batwoman. We couldn't watch Batwoman earlier. We would be talking about it now, but unfortunately the CW is not on. I don't want to get into it. Like we're gonna have to watch it at our regular time, and for me it's 9:00 Pacific time. So many of you will probably be asleep, but we're gonna go back live and do our thoughts on Batwoman after this. So you get a double dose of Inquisition tonight.
Although I think we'll have to confine it to just that. I mean, maybe do extra, 30 minutes or
it's going to be about a half hour.
Something like that. Yeah. But we can't let the first episode of this crap pass without comment. Now I can tell you that this weekend I also watched The Meg. That's that shark movie with Jason Statham.
Yeah. The Megalodon one.
Oh, it's terrible. It was really bad. It was really boring. But let me tell you something. Batwoman, I think, was in it. I think one of the, of course, the scientists that designed everything in the underground base, who had like spiky hair, just like Cameron on *Halt and Catch Fire*. The brilliant Whammon scientist, right? Yeah. And boy, she was obnoxious in that. So this chick is just obnoxious. She's just obnoxious. It's going to be just awful. Anything she does, it's going to suck.
Yeah, she wasn't great in John Wick 2, but she was mute. So, Ruby Rose. Listen, Ruby Rose. She doesn't sound as bad as Brie, so I'm not going to get on her for that. But
she's bad, dude.
She came out. She's bad. To paraphrase, she came out and said like this show isn't for. I'm so fucking tired of hearing this show isn't for me. This is what we were, man. Oh God, I've got so much to talk about from New York Comic Con, but this was a discussion we had with Quarter Black Garrett from Steven Crowder and Jeremy. Is all this shit that all of a sudden stuff's not made for us? For one, I mean, let's just the elephant in the room. We built fandom. Dudes built fandom. Everybody's welcome. I'm glad there's more women in fandom. I remember the days where the only women at Comic Con were booth babes. But this whole shit, like, for one, Batwoman, it's exactly made for me and middle-aged white men. That's going to be 99% of your audience is going to be middle-aged white men. It's not going to be the LGBTQ community watching your stuff. And if it because it's a small percentage, and if it was just them and us old white dudes didn't watch your damn show, then your ratings would suck and you wouldn't get renewed. So you got to stop saying shit. We got to go back to making stuff for everybody and this exclusionary crap. And I sat through the cringiest panel, thankfully just the last half of it. And it was basically an Antifa panel at NYCC. And I've got all the audio from it. I have to break it down in clips. And I think, I'll save some of them for the next Inquisition.
Antifa, huh?
Oh, it was getting fascism out of fandom, and it was essentially, taking aim at Comicsgate and the Fandom Menace, and not essentially. There was no we're white supremacists. straight up. They weren't coy about it or anything. So that's more to come. I got to take the time to get the clips out and stuff, and I need to get the rest of the audio too. I only got half of it right now.
Oh man, I tell you, I'm seriously thinking about starting to go to these conventions, and
everybody's asking for you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that plan of getting someone. I mean, do they make you, if you buy the badge, do they make you give your name on the badge, or do you just have it like?
No, you do not have to put your name on the badge. I put Nerdrotic on mine, and we'll get you a press badge, and then it'll just say press. So,
and oh, really?
Yeah. Well, no, I'll get you hooked up.
If we can do that, then I just don't want to, have my fucking, just parading around. I didn't know. I thought you had to give your, name or something.
You have to give it to the con, but they're not supposed to release it.
Well, but I see that's the thing. Yeah. So I mean, I'm thinking what I would do is maybe have somebody's brother or something go and buy a ticket, and then I'd pay them for the ticket plus $100 for the trouble or something, and take it.
Or what we could do is I could just add you to Nerdrotic, and I don't have to give a name. Or
really?
Or I can put Melissa on it and then just give you the badge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm Melissa.
Yeah, you can be Mrs. Well, we won't call you that, but you're going to be Doomcock, and I'm applying to San Diego this week, so we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you do that, then I'll go.
Oh, right on. You hear that? You hear that? We will get him to go.
I will be wearing a mask, but I will be there.
Yeah, no. Tug went to conventions with his mask on. It worked fine. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, cosplayers can do it. Shit.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why the fuck not? All right. So yes, we will be doing Batwoman later, and let's get to a couple more super chats here because we still got to talk about the trailers.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm just running off at the mouth, but it's like, oh man, so much shit has come out, and I'm like, and all I've been focusing on is the Joker. I mean, I've been kind of screwed this week, Gary, because I released my, Laws of Canon video, and it's been doing very well. I mean, I've gotten to 55,000, by the way.
Nice.
So that's good. Yeah.
Congrats.
I hit it, and Harvey hit 10,000 the same day. So it was very cool. But I haven't had a chance really to think about anything else. And I just watched the short trek just before this, and I am like disgusted and outraged. So now I want to strike out at Star Trek, but I don't want to step on my own videos because I'm going to do the Joker thing tomorrow. I don't know what to. I'm going to put it on Harvey's channel. I don't know.
Yeah, just put it on.
Subscribe to Harvey's channel, folks, because if you don't, you're going to miss videos because there's so much news. I have to do it on 2 channels. I can no longer just put things on my main channel. So.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do the same. I can't put the Expanse up with the other stuff. I feel you on that one for sure. And I want to talk about that. And I want the Joker again eventually. Once I got to see it again. But yeah, that's awesome. That's good. So congrats. Subscribe to Harvey's channel. Don't forget, and don't forget to subscribe to Doomcock.
Yes, please.
All right, so let's get to this. Fizenthorpe says, Gary, it was great meeting you in person. It was great meeting you as well. I tipped the lady who yelled at you $4. Yeah, she fucking yelled at me, but it was worth the money. This super chat should square things up. Also, Doomcock was missed by all who attended. Yes, everybody asked about him, and I'm going to start going. Yeah,
I'm going to start going. It's just if I can work that little trick, then I'll be there. I'm looking to get a specialized Mexican wrestler mask in the form of my helm and go that way because I think it would be a lot of fun. And I want to meet you guys. I miss you guys. I've been kind of miserable and feeling depressed with you in New York and me here. But I think from now on, I just need to start going.
Let's go. It wipes you out, but it's fun. It's dude, I don't know how Jeremy does it, man. I don't think that guy slept a wink when he was there. He went out with fucking Cecil. I was no way. I mean, Cecil, I love you, but I wasn't going to go driving around with Mrs. Cecil. I got to stay sober. I got my sobriety to think about, but no, Cecil's awesome. Cecil and EVS met him in person. They're great. We had a nice dinner with the Phantom Menace at a really good restaurant. And yeah, we'd love to have you there. because it's fun. It's fun meeting members of the fandom. Screw the con. The con is nah. The Expanse was the only thing I wanted to see. I saw it and I didn't even shop. I would rather run around the city, hanging out with members of the Phantom Menace. That was a blast. That was so much fun. And yeah.
Well, I'm scared because I will, hit that dealer's room and just spend an ungodly amount of money.
The Phantom Menace distracts you because I'm the same way. I mean, the only thing that, because I had to ship everything home, so I was like, I don't want to ship a bunch of stuff home. But San Diego, oh shit, when my car's there, forget it. I dropped stupid money in San Diego. Hey, I met Lori Roberts.
I know. I saw a picture.
I
saw a picture.
She gave a super chat for $10. Hi guys, and Harvey, Gary, there is a rumor going around in NYC about you. Did you or did you not eat a slice of pizza with a knife and a fork? If so, I put part of the blame on Mikey Woods. No, I didn't use a knife and a fork. Who in the hell said that? They didn't even give me a fork. I used my fingers, man. I was eating that thing with my hands.
Now, just to be cussed, I'm going to eat mine with a knife and a fork.
Oh, you bring your own silverware.
I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I don't care. And plus, if I've got a mask on, I don't want to get grease all over it. So I need precision delivery of pizza to mouth.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and I need like lots of napkins because I have a beard, and
you
don't want to be walking around with like friggin' pizza
like a
face.
Goddamn prospector.
Yeah. Ain't no way, no goddamn, no burger.
In old days, we used to eat pizza, you buy our hands, but of course, we smell that pizza for weeks after.
That's right. Hale, looks like they've saved all the good stuff for New York. Says Cardinal Sim for $2. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, Star Trek. But that's Kurtzman. That's how they feel about Star Trek fans. Every Star Trek fan who went to Star Trek Las Vegas, I want you to remember that they invited you out there. They gave you some stupid talk show. They just wanted to talk about the Orange Man. And they charged you $65 for a Wilson fucking little Ricky from My So-Called Life cruise autograph, and didn't give you shit. At least the Fandom Menace showed up, and I gave out free t-shirts. We did meetups because we love you guys. Star Trek just wanted to charge you for everything.
Right.
And honestly, dude, after we talked, right? So I was excited. And I still think it's money very well spent that I got to meet Shatner because he's getting old. And that's a rare exception. But New York, for one, the biggest difference between New York and San Diego, it's way more corporate, and they do that autograph shit, which I don't like. And especially since you brought it up. When we went to cons, the autographs were free. I mean, it was about interacting with your fan. Yeah. And I understand these people need to make a little extra scratch once in a while, and I don't want to, fine. But I think in certain instances, like a Star Trek convention, it should be you pay the con and you meet the fans, and this is part of your job as a representative of Star Trek. Each doctor, when the doctor signs with the BBC, they have to they are obliged, if they want to keep getting residuals, to go to conventions and do all this shit. And by the way, I did a little video on Christopher Eccleston, and my mind hasn't changed on that. I know some people caught back on me a little bit on that one because he's been so open about his anorexia, and I smell bullshit with this guy. I'm just saying, I just do. All of a sudden he's got his hand out to Doctor Who fans and he's charging $90 for a fucking autograph when he wouldn't give us the time of day before, wouldn't go into, he practically fucked up the 50th anniversary. I mean, we got John Hurt. That was great, but he said no to that. He said no to coming back. And now all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, he's going to be at Gallifrey 1 in LA. Shows up at New York Comic Con. It's like, what? So
yeah, you know what it is? It's the Mulder effect. That's what I call it, the Mulder effect. It's when an actor has enormous success on a television show, gets a big head, and then departs for greener pastures, abandoning the partner that brought him to the dance, metaphorically speaking. So David Duchovny left the X-Files, went off to do a couple of movies, bombed, and then had to get into another TV show, Californication, because his movie career tanked, even though he was such a big fucking star. Right, David Caruso? So,
I was just thinking of that.
Exactly. So Eccleston had a chance to be an iconic character in Doctor Who. He didn't want anything to do with it. He left, and he was good. I liked him in Doctor Who. I did like him a lot. I thought he was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
And now he comes with his tail between his legs saying, I've got anorexia, so pay me. And he goes to Who conventions, sponging off his one fucking token season as a doctor. I think that's pathetic.
Yep.
And it's as much of an admission of failure as is Kevin Feige stepping up to make a Star Wars movie with Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy, right?
Kathleen Kennedy's going to be getting his coffee. She's going to be reminded. She's like, oh, I can still do this. Is like what I did for Spielberg. She's going to be put back in that position. Yeah, dude. That realization hit me at New York. I'm like, what the hell is he? I realized he was there, and I had just. By the way, if you want to go, Gallifrey 1 is in LA and it's in February, so we'll talk about it. I bought tickets. Tickets are still available, but it's a pretty good Doctor Who convention. But dude, I kind of went off on that one. I was mad. I saw that and he's at every con. What the hell? This guy never went to cons before. What the hell? And then he announces he have anorexia out of the blue, and then all of a sudden he's on the con circuit. Okay, I got it now. I understand. Takes me a while to get there, but I understand.
Yeah, it's just sad. It's like these people, spend so much time. Oh, I don't want to get typecast. And then it's like, oh, please typecast me because I'm not having any luck. Oh, he comes back coughing, and he's coughing and hacking like Nigel Planer and Filthy Rich and Cat Flap. Spare us a dollar for a fag. We're down on our flat, down on our uppers.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you die to be typecast? I bet you there's
in an iconic role. My God, yes.
That's better than winning an Academy Award. You're remembered. I mean, William Shatner will be remembered more than most Academy Award winners, most classic actors. People love Shatner, and he's a complete success. And the reason they loved him is he was a great actor in that role. He was a great actor as Kirk. It's not like he was a shitty actor. I loved Kirk because he put in a good performance as Kirk. And there's nothing wrong with like mastering one role. I think I don't understand that. Like, you get to pretend for a living and live this great lifestyle. You're a rock star forever, especially if you're the doctor. You're the fucking doctor. You are a rock star, unless you're Jody. And I don't understand.
Well, she is a croc star.
She's a. By the way, number of Jodie Whittaker cosplayers that were female that I witnessed at New York Comic Con, 0. Number of men dressing as Jodie, 2.
Actually, I would put that at 0 too.
Yeah. There you go. 0. 2. It's a zero-sum game. Yes. And again, I saw more Capaldi. I saw 2 female Capaldi cosplayers. So the ladies, some of the ladies like Capaldi.
It just breaks my heart. Capaldi's fantastic. Capaldi is fantastic. He's a fantastic actor, and it was the writing in the show that let him down. It was not Capaldi, folks. It was not Capaldi. That guy could have been one of the best Doctor Who's ever.
I look forward to him coming back for like some anniversary special that's written by somebody competent in like a decade, and it'll probably be awesome. But maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it'll just be dead, and we'll get Big Finish stuff. That's probably not far behind, by the way. Chris Eccleston doing Big Finish. Lori Roberts again. Thank you for that. It was really great meeting you, Lori. I did not expect that. You actually surprised the hell out of me when you showed up there, so that was great. So Arthur Fleck, Ben Affleck was Joker, named after Ben. Says Thunder Robots, $2. Arthur Fleck. I don't know. I think Arthur Fleck was probably the original name in that script. It was totally a repurposed script. I don't care. I don't really know it was, dude. I don't know. I've heard it was, but I mean, a repurposed script can be gutted, and you rewrite half of it, and I think that's maybe it was based on something else. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
I mean, I gotta say, look, I've studied film. I mean, I'm really, really, really deep into film, and I subscribe to Francois Truffaut's, auteur theory in Cahiers du Cinéma, where basically the director is largely the author of the film when it is sufficiently when a film that's a piece of art. Generally, the director is considered to be the author of the film. So when I look at this thing, I see it not as a repurposed script. I see it as a very coherent whole, because Todd Phillips had so much to say. I mean, his fucking authorial, fingerprint is on every frame of this film. It is such a superlative work of cinema that I was elated, even as I was oppressed by it. I mean, the content was oppressive. I swear to God, Gary, I spent the whole film, dude, on the edge of my seat, sitting up with my fists clenched between my knees. I was not a conscious thing. I just realized it as I was watching that. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude, your fists are clenched, and that intensity is what is required to watch Joker, because it is a film that you do not witness, you live. And his genius is the reason that is the case. This is not like a Marvel superhero fucking movie that you go and you watch and you eat popcorn and that was badass, and you go home and you smile. This fucking thing stayed with me for hours after hours. I felt oppressed. I felt darkness. And that's not a criticism. That is a compliment. That it had the power to get under my skin. Two other movies that got under my skin, and I didn't realize it as much at the time as Joker, as much, was There Will Be Blood and The Master. And both of those movies were movies that I did not like. I did not like them except for one scene. One scene was the Rosetta Stone in each of those movies. And the Rosetta Stone in There Will Be Blood was the scene in the bowling alley at the end of There Will Be Blood. I don't know if you've seen it, Gary.
No.
Oh,
no,
shit.
I haven't.
It's a weird, tedious, strange movie that nevertheless gets under your skin. Did you see The Master?
I didn't. I was looking at.
So you haven't. The Master. It had Joaquin Phoenix in The Master. Did a performance. Jesus Christ! It was fucking amazing. So that I was expecting no less when I saw Joker, and I got to say it's on a par with Joker, but it was still a movie that is just mad. Both those movies, by the way, by the same director. And both of them are opaque and bizarre and difficult and artistic and weird. And there's one scene in it that is a Rosetta Stone, which was Hoffman singing to Philip Seymour Hoffman singing to Joaquin Phoenix, "I'd like to get you on a slow boat to China," with great feeling on his boat. And that scene like stuck with me and was a key to understanding the whole movie. Both those films resonated in the same way as Joker. Joker is a movie that gets under your skin. It haunts you, and you only slowly wake up to its full genius. I like it much better every single day that it goes by. That I've only seen it once, and I walked out shaken. Not just shaking, but shaken, like deeply disturbed and moved because of what I'd seen, and only after that visceral reaction wore off did the intellectual components and the aesthetic components start to grind away in my mind and start to make me realize that what I'd seen was nothing short of fucking genius. I mean, I meant it when I put that video on Harvey's channel, which has only gotten 10,000 views because Harvey's channel is small. It's a shame. I don't know. Maybe I'll repost the goddamn thing on my channel because people should see it.
or just do another one. Do another one for your
Well,
channel.
I'm doing the big one tomorrow. I'm releasing that one, but still.
Yeah, it definitely is. What I listen again. I'm not a student of writing. I've definitely, editing, all that stuff. Yes, I went to school for that, but I just know when something's good and how I relate to it. And this is where we can't go into films like, well, we're not making it for you because there's nothing I can relate to on any level with Joaquin Phoenix's character, except when there's certain scenes that I have been through in my life. So they really captured something that I went through and captured it perfectly. And it really, and it made me, it even took me back to that place for a second. Like the place where I never thought I'd go. And it made me very uncomfortable, which was great. So the scene, a little bit of spoilers here. It's after a major scene. We'll just say that it's a turning point in the film, and he's running away from the train, and he locks himself into a bathroom and just starts dancing. Does his little and at this moment, he did this thing which he should have felt bad about, but he didn't feel so bad about it. He felt pretty good, or he thought he felt good, or maybe freeing. There's a lot of ways to interpret that scene, but the dancing insanely in a shitty bathroom with the fluorescent light blinking on and off. I mean, it looked like the seventh layer of hell. And it reminded me of, times I was like getting loaded and I had nowhere else to go. And I lived in a public bathroom at the state beach down in San Diego, San Alejo State Beach. There was a public bathroom, and during the winter they shut down the campground so you can, the shelter. Not that you need much in SoCal, but it reminded me of those days. It tapped into it was and that's that's what I love. And Paul Thomas Anderson. So you know what? It was Magnolia. I loved Boogie Nights, dude, but I saw Magnolia. I'm like, I've never watched a fucking movie about and
no, I get you totally. Because you saw it, right? Well, the thing is about that. I could talk about this shit all night, but the thing is, in Magnolia, I was exactly the same way. And then see, Philip, he look, Thomas is a filmmaker that remains maddeningly opaque and really, other than Boogie Nights, which is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, Boogie Nights is fucking
I
great.
love that movie. But the rest of them, Magnolia, There Will Be Blood, The Master, all of those are movies that I'm really being angry about until like one scene comes around. And actually with Magnolia, the one scene that proved the key for it later was the one that enraged me, which was the one where, it's not going to stop, where they're all singing, it's not going to stop. And even what's his name? God, I'm blanking on his name. In the hospital bed, in a coma, is singing it. You remember?
Yes.
He's in a coma, and he's singing it, and I thought that is the most fucking retarded thing I've ever seen. I'm so angry. But then when I left, and I started listening to some of Amy Mann's songs and stuff, and I just started to love it. This guy gets under your skin, and for me anyway, he turns me around. I hate his movies almost every single time, and then after a few days, I start loving them. Maybe I'm insane. I don't know, but it's like
no, that's what it is. That's a part of filmmaking that's lost. That's what I think is exciting a lot of people.
It is, Gary. Did you ever see The Tree of Life?
No.
By Terrence Malick?
I know.
No?
No.
Listen, that goddamn movie, let me tell you something. Just give me a minute. I've never said this before. It doesn't warrant a full review because nobody would ever listen, but let me just say this. I was seeing it with a friend, and it had like these shots of this like glowing light and a lot of whispering and stuff for like the first 30 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. I started making fun of it. And I started like turning to my friend and like, I don't know why I've come to this movie. and I'm just making smart ass comments. And then it showed, like, inexplicably, it showed this scene with dinosaurs way back when. And there's this dinosaur dying by the river. And this dinosaur emerges from the woods and charges up to this dinosaur. And it's lying on the ground. And the dinosaur puts its claw on the dinosaur. And I think, oh God, here it's going to rip it apart and eat it. And the dinosaur then pats the dying dinosaur and runs back into the woods. And afterwards, I heard like people, like there were people, you know, out there. There was this, like, you know, with a beehive, you know, like the Dallas socialites, and they were saying that didn't make any sense to me. Why did the dinosaur run away? And I was like, because that scene right there made me stop laughing and stop mocking and realize that Terrence Malick in this movie was making a philosophical statement about the ultimate benevolence of the universe. And it was a what I talk about all the time, Gary, which is non-duality, which is that we are all one thing. And it was the expression of compassion from one dinosaur to another, which said to me that the ultimate nature of the universe is compassion. And I was absolutely blown away by that movie from that point on. So I stopped being a smart ass. So these kind of movies like Joker, you have to watch intensely.
Yeah.
Real cinema that has a statement will often be opaque except for one little glimpse that the filmmaker will give you of that filmmaker's intent. And I know some of those moments with Joker. That's the thing I'm going to reveal in my video tomorrow as to what Joker is really about. But I can say movies like this are make your soul soar, because it's about ideas. It's not just about selling fucking soda pop or tickets.
No. And
sorry. I'm sorry.
No. The reason they did this though, was to, you know, I said this prior to the film coming out. I'm like, this is something you got to watch out for. Okay. There's a lot of levels going on here. It's a good film. It's a great film. It might have just stuck the dagger in the superhero film though. It might have just ended it by actually making one, because what Hollywood is going to do is they're copycats. So we're going to get like Harry Osborn or some shit like that. And it's going to be fucking terrible because Todd Phillips is not directing it. This only worked because it came from Todd Phillips and it worked with Joaquin Phoenix. It's not going to work with another director. If they're talking, I hope they're not talking about fucking sequel. That'd be terrible, especially under, well, I mean, J.J. Abrams runs this part of Warner Brothers now, so it's not going to happen. This came from prior to his regime. I'm going to find an article. I'm going to find a clip from an article where Todd Phillips basically says, "Hey, we wanted to sneak in a movie on he said here. I'll get the exact quote. Give me just a second here.
Well, I just want to say that in my video tomorrow, I'm going to address the issues of exactly what you're talking about regarding what is the implication for superhero movies. What does this do to Batman canon, for example? I've got a theory of this movie that I'm going to go ahead and present in my video tomorrow.
Well, I don't know if I didn't see it, but I don't know if this is considered a black label movie from DC. It might be. If you can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I heard it might be, but he said, "We didn't make the movie to push buttons." Todd Phillips told the Wrap's editor-in-chief Sharon Waxman in an interview last Friday about the filmmaker's process. "I literally described to Joaquin at one point in those 3 months as like, look at this as a way to sneak a real movie in the studio system under the guise of a comic book film."
Yes.
It wasn't. We want to glorify. It wasn't. We want to glorify this behavior. It wasn't literally like, let's make a real movie with a real budget that we'll call the fucking Joker. That's what it is. It's nothing more than, you know, it's not grounded. It's still a comic book movie, especially towards the end. The last 20 minutes are phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, the final act is fucking unbelievable. and it brings everything together in this beautiful way. And it's a very ambiguous end. There's a lot of ways you can take that film. And I definitely have to see it again because there's symbolism in fucking everything. And I'm focused on Joaquin Phoenix's performance.
Oh yeah.
And I can't see everything else, and the bloody footprints and, everything. There's something to everything. And I just didn't catch it all.
Well, dude, I've thought about this a lot. I wanted to say this shit in my first video, but I knew, look, you can't do a spoiler video, the day it really, Friday. So I put this thing out, but I've got the analysis. I've got a theory about the film.
I put the spoilers at the end though, and I warn everybody. I just say leave now.
This is
leave now.
I know, man, but this is a long video. I mean, this one that I'm doing now, and I'm going to present a theory of the film that thoroughly presents answers a lot, addresses a lot of the things that you're talking about. And I think that people aren't really quite understanding what it is. And I'm looking forward to presenting my theory of it. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm building a case, presenting evidence, and trying to say this film grows in the reflection. And I can't wait to get this damn thing out. I mean, it's not quite finished yet. I'm going to have to work on it after we finish here. But yeah, I'm passionate about this thing. I'm passionate about it. I've got a lot to say about it.
No, it's happy. I mean, you're happy that this kind of film making made a slight comeback. We don't know if it's back, because honestly, I mean, it's a good thing. Is this going to save theaters? Maybe. I don't know. But movie theaters are in a bad way right now. They're in a bad way.
I heard that this movie cost $55 million.
Yeah.
It cost $55 million. So God damn it. And how, I mean, it made that back its first weekend. It is going to absolutely be pound for pound one of the most profitable movies that they've made in recent years.
Blair Witch profitable.
Yes. And they need to wake the fuck up and stop screwing around with Endgame and all these grand special effects shit fests, and get back to giving guys who can write with ideas and talent a chance, a small amount. My God, if you gave me $30 million, I will make something amazing. It might, and the thing is, it might not be a huge hit, but it doesn't have to be. And then what you're doing is you're giving voices to actual creative people instead of nephews and hacks and pieces of garbage like Kurtzman and Chabon that have no goddamn business making movies because they have no goddamn passion. Seriously, there are people out there who bleed creatively, bleed. They have a lifetime of pain and experience to share. They have art in their souls, and then you have these worthless pieces of shit like Kurtzman and Abrams, soulless fucking pieces of garbage that are fucking out there, and they're just using their connections to enrich themselves, and they have nothing to say. It makes me goddamn furious. I'm sorry, but it's I am an artist.
Apologize. I
am an artist, and I have writing, and I have skill, and I don't ever craft. I don't put more goddamn passion into my fucking videos on YouTube than these worthless bastards who are getting paid millions doing their worthless goddamn scripts. Chabon, you piece of shit! You turned out something that is garbage.
Yeah, you did.
And you have to live with that. You have to live with that because I know that you actually can write. I know it, Chabon. I know it. And you turned out this garbage, this contemptible garbage for a petty goddamn payday. And you have to live with that. And you can numb yourself now in Hollywood with your friends. And you can, I don't know what kind of vices you might or might not have, what ways that you cope in the dark midnights of your soul when you wake up and you have to confront that you wrote this garbage and you put your name on it. You put your imprimatur on it. And you have to live with that. You have to live with peddling mediocrity. You have to live with doing less than you can because of money. to get a payday and to suck up to your little Hollywood friends. You used to be a novelist. I thought you won like a Pulitzer or something.
Yeah, he won a Pulitzer.
Kiss those goddamn Pulitzers goodbye, motherfucker, because you've just revealed yourself to be a soulless hack, as soulless as Kurtzman, as soulless as Abrams. Congratulations. You sold your soul.
Abrams and Kurtzman make film so they can get the accolades and be called filmmakers. They don't love it like Doomcock does. Like
they don't
Todd
love
Phillips.
it.
They don't love it.
They have nothing to say. They have nothing to say. They have nothing to say, Gary. They don't have any lifetime of pain. They don't know what pain is. They grew up privileged. That, you know, Jar Jar Abrams grew up babysitting Steven Spielberg's kid. That's the extent of alienation and pain that worthless cunt has fucking had in his life.
There's a music analogy that I like to use, because there's people who are technically good at the craft and there's people who are passionately good at the craft that can do the technical stuff. But you know what? I would rather be somebody who is much more artistically minded and passionate and who isn't the best at the technical stuff, because then you can figure the technical shit out. The one thing you can't teach in a school is passion. And I always like to, and don't get mad at me, metal fans, but the Beatles were not like great at their instruments, well, with the exception of Paul McCartney, who's a pretty damn good bass player. But for the most part, these were like very average technical musicians, but they were genius songwriters because of their passion and the art in their soul.
Yeah.
And you get like Steve Vai, who could play, guitar better than most everybody on the planet, but can't write a song to save his fucking life. So that's the difference right there. And right now we have the Steve Vais and running around Hollywood with Abrams. And that message is important because that works for everything artistic. Okay, is what do you have to say? Honestly, that's why I really like the last version of this. Star Was Born with Lady Gaga. Don't hate me, but it had a great mess. That was the message of the fucking movie. Was, don't sell out, find your voice and be true to your art, or don't do it because you'll end up like me, and that she finds that out at the end. He has this great conversation with her on the roof right before she's about to make it big, and he sits down and tells her, and like I listened to this conversation as a YouTuber and as a content creator, and he said, just find your voice. You need to, don't worry what anybody else is going to say. Don't worry. You might get fired. You might get let go once in a while, but stay true to yourself. Find your own voice. Don't ride the fucking fence, basically, and let her rip. And that's art right there. And this fucking Joker had a lot to say, man. And I can't. I'm not going to pretend that I understood it all. Listen, I got a Swiss cheese brain from all those drugs in the 80s, but that's why you go to movies again. And I can't wait to see it again. I can't tell you the last time I saw a movie where I couldn't wait to see it again. I mean, it's been a long fucking time. And Marvel movies, even Infinity War, I was like, and I don't mean to be shitting on superhero. I love superhero movies. And
me too. I know.
But I want them to be more artistically minded. I want to see a Batman film. It doesn't have to be grounded, but it does have to be. I think it'd be better as a TV show. I want to follow him as a detective. I want it to be scary. I want it to be. I can't remember his name. Forgive me, but it's the new writer of Batman for DC Comics, and he described. I'm going to paraphrase this, but he got it fucking right. He's all. I want to write a Batman who's. It's an adventure. It's the adventure, noir, and horror and fantasy. And he mixed in horror, and I'm like, yes, that's Batman. Yeah. Somebody finally fucking gets Batman, and that's what I would love to see. And I heard a lot of talk about Joaquin's Joker taking on a Batman. Just leave it in your imagination, because I thought that last 20 minutes. That's all I'm going to say was. God damn, I was blown away. I was like, the people were, I went to the Alamo Draft House for the first time, dude. Never been there before in my life. Fucking great. Oh my God.
I love the Alamo.
Great. and got to see it with a bunch of people. We had the best time, and I didn't hear, nobody was even nobody even said no, it's okay. No, everybody was like, God damn, and it's okay. Of course there'll be the people who are out there going, it sucks, it's crap, and that's fine. There's always somebody out there doesn't like ice cream. I understand, but I'm trying to look for a production budget and I don't see it, but I heard the same amount. I heard 55 million. And that is, I mean, it's good and bad. But this is the path Warner Brothers was on prior to J.J. Abrams kicking out that guy. They were on the path of lower production budgets, but higher quality.
Well, that's because Jar Jar Abrams is a cinematic antichrist.
He is.
I mean, people laugh when I say that. I mean it. I mean, I'm
I know.
It's
I know
really,
exactly what you
funny
mean
to me. No, because he's a contagion that is spreading throughout Hollywood, and he is systematically destroying every fucking thing he touches by dint of his mediocrity.
He is mediocrity. Alex Kurtzman is not even mediocrity. He's not even complacency. He is shit. He is like not good at his job. I mean, I could probably do a better job, and I have no desire to, and I probably could do a better job. And I know Doomcock could, and there are so many people in this chat and fellow YouTubers who could produce a better fucking Annie Trekker could write a better script in his sleep than fucking Alex Kurtzman. You could on the shitter, I mean, it's but he gets it. I don't know how. I'm thinking J.J. Abrams' influence would be my guess. But Warner Brothers, rethink this deal. If the ink isn't dry, if he hasn't signed anything, and if any of you are watching, man, fucking cut this deal off. I don't want the DC. I want to see good DC films, and I want to see and what they're what DC is almost mirroring what they did in the comics in the 80s. DC did shit with comics that Marvel couldn't do. And wouldn't do. Yeah. And that's why, I was reading more DC in the 80s.
That's right. They reigned supreme in the 80s. I mean, I was a big Marvel guy. I mean, I've always loved Batman. I've always loved Batman as a kid. Batman was my favorite superhero. It still is. But, geez, the depth that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby brought to comics really, really blew me away. And then, but then, boy, come Watchmen and the stuff, Vertigo stuff that DC was doing in the 80s. Well, shit, I defected. I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. Opened my eyes to the potential, the next evolutionary leap beyond what Stan Lee did. Stan Lee was an evolutionary leap. There's no doubt about it. Superheroes that had human problems. Humanized them and made them beyond just guys in tights kicking ass like DC had lapsed into in the 60s. I mean, Justice League is I can only read Superman and Justice League and things like that from the period for the kitsch. It's just so funny. It's just goofy and it delights me. It relaxes me, but there's no depth to it. And then you read something like, Tony Stark and, his love for Pepper Potts and then, his alcoholism later. And I mean, they really elevated comics and you would not have the 80s Watchmen without Stan Lee.
No, God, no. And then, you would, a lot of things led up to the Watchmen that doesn't get a lot of love. But the whole movement from the UK in 2000 AD and all that shit, people, you got to read Judge Dredd or just go to 2080's website and just go poking around. Their graphic novels are pretty cheap and you can get like big old volumes of them. Just dig in. I've
got a bunch of those now, dude. I'm reading
blown away. God, they're so good. But it's almost, it was happening in film. Now, of course, this is what contradicts this is the Birds of Prey trailer. Which I mean, let's just call it for what it is. This is the first official SJW superhero film, period. That you took a character that I think feminists are trying to take it back. Who they're taking it back from? People liked Harlequin because she was in a very sexy costume and she was drawn well by Paul Dini in a very popular animated series called Batman. And then they put her in the comic books. And then honestly, I never liked the redesign that kind of hoard her up with the Daisy Dukes and stuff like that. But I got to admit that Margot Robbie was a fantastic in a very shitty Suicide Squad movie. She was great as Harley Quinn. But
I haven't seen it, but I didn't want to see it.
Her character was great in a shit movie that could have been good. You could just tell it was rushed and written by somebody. The other half was written by somebody else, and there was something in there that could have been good, but it wasn't. So doesn't matter. Could have been, should have been, didn't end up being good. But now they're making it. I challenge anybody who's not the hardcorest of DC fans and hasn't gone and looked prior to try to pick out the superheroes in this film. Tell me which one is Black Canary. tell me which one is Huntress. Because they don't fucking, and they're all like the backup band for Harley Quinn, who doesn't look like Harley Quinn anymore.
Right.
It looks
for me, the ultimate Harley Quinn comic is Mad Love by Dini and Tim. Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. That's it. I mean, and frankly, I don't know. It was so goddamn perfect that it's almost like, why even ever tell another Harley Quinn story again? To me, no. It's like, well, it doesn't get any better than that. That's about it. That's the last word. I
loved. Oh God, I have all the animated series out of the comics that based on Paul Dini's art and stuff. I love that art style. I love Bruce Timm. Paul Dini's the writer, Bruce Timm's the art. And oh God, that Paul Dini should be running Batman, period. He should be running Batman. He wrote
Bruce Timm, right?
Bruce Timm is the artist and Paul Dini's the writer,
right?
And Paul Dini both of them should be running Batman. They should be in charge of the character, period, in film, television, everything. They understand him more than any. The definitive version of Batman is the animated series, period.
Yes.
But Dini's done other things, like he did a Zatanna series prior to New 52 that got canceled because of fucking New 52, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant, like not SJW. It was just well done. And the guy knows how to write comic books, and I've never understood why. Maybe they just think he's a comic book guy, or maybe he doesn't want to do it. But fans have been saying it for years that Paul Dini should be in charge of Batman and should produce a movie, and not Matt Reeves. I'm sorry, Matt Reeves is a J.J. Abrams guy, everyone. I mean,
anything associated with Abrams is death, creative death.
Yeah. I got sorry. Last time I got suckered was Westworld. I knew his name was on it, but I'm like, he's not. He's just an executive producer. He's not really an executive
producer, right? Exactly. That's just a financier. That's just a But nope. He sure as shit. Yeah, it followed the pattern, Gary. It followed the pattern. Season 1 of Westworld was great, and so season 1 of Westworld is kind of like the first act, or even first and second act of a movie by Jar Jar Abrams. What does Jar Jar never do? End something well. And so the rot sets in later on in the process. It could be like on the sequel with Star Trek Into Darkness, or it could be Westworld season 2,
or Castle Rock.
Absolutely abominable. I just didn't watch it, dude. I only watched it because of you, and I'm binging it. And it was like mainlining some kind of, toxic, contaminated drug that,
No. And Castle Rock did the same thing. So Castle Rock was executive produced by him, but he was supposedly had nothing to do with it. And it had a really strong start. Like it was interesting. And it's basically American horror story, but in Stephen King's universe. So everything takes place in alternate versions of Castle Rock, and you mix in some Stephen King stuff, and it was kind of fun. And then it had this meandering shit ending, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm never trusting JJ again, ever. Let's get to some super chats, and he is the architect of all this shit. It's so much of it. I could do a video on that alone, on just how he's got his fingers in everything and how everything has changed. And, again, Westworld is the best example of a show made before 2015 or 2016 and after, and how Hollywood changed.
Yeah.
Crimson Taint for Canadian $13.99, hitting the sack and bowing out early. We'll catch the live stream on the flip side. Hail Doomcock, future rule of the earth, and hail Gary, and good night. Thank you, Crimson Taint, for $13.99 Canadian pesos. I wanted to hit that one up.
Sure.
First. And then dropping a common sense bomb here. Picard and Discovery blow. Give us the Expanse and the Orville. Common Sense America for $4.99. Yeah. I mean, Doomcock said it. Star Trek is it's done. It's done. We'll get another season or two of Picard. They'll probably end Discovery and say it was always meant to be 3 seasons. The Section 31 show, I predict, will never happen. The animated shows, we'll get 1 season of those because, believe it or not, those things are expensive and it looks just freaking terrible. And it will be. I mean, it'll be cringy bad. Did they show any footage from New York yet? I know we saw what the
what
of Lower Decks.
No, I've not seen a goddamn thing. I mean, it may be out there, but I've not seen it.
Yeah, I didn't either. Michael Maloney for $5. Doomcock says, saw a clip from season 12 of Doctor Who. What's the most dangerous creature in the universe? Was it a decadent Dalek controlling a human woman? Yes. Well, that was from well, unless they're going to do it again. That was I'll chalk that as a correct prediction, Doomcock. I predicted they were going to do a female Dalek in the New Year's special, and they did, kind of. They had a Dalek on a woman the whole time. Mm-hmm. So, even though Daleks are not supposed to have gender, but
well, women are just so damn attractive. What are you going to do?
Yep. Well,
toxic males, a race of toxic males, the Daleks.
Yeah, they kind of are octopi. Tentacle porn. I have a medical appointment in the morning, says Crimson Taint. For the rest of the day's calendar is clear sailing. Plan is to catch the Joker again in the afternoon. Good. Go watch it again and tell me what else you caught. And does it flip your perspective on it? I bet you seen it again. Really kind of,
it'll add things.
Yeah.
I mean, totally. I was having the visceral reaction of being in the moment, but I have to say that, if I could see it a second time from a place of remove, I think that I'll be a little bit more intellectual in my dissection rather than emotional.
Yeah, that's probably good. I stick in emotion, but that's good. No, that's good. I can't wait to hear it. Hopefully,
I hope it's not gibberish, but we'll see.
Frontier gibberish. Hitting. Okay, so hail Doomcock and Gary. Who will drink the green milk of death first, Lando Calrissian or Jean-Luc Picard? Calrissian, because this movie comes out before.
Because it comes out before. Yeah, so it's pretty simple there. Yeah.
Sam Whiskey for $4.99. Thank you. Yeah, we got a release date for Picard. It's January 23rd. So, I didn't even check to see what day that was. It's probably a Sunday, is my guess. I want to check that right now while I'm thinking about it, because that's all about schedule. I hope there's not another fucking show on. Can we have it on a different day, please? Than Sunday. It is a Thursday. There you go. Picard will be on Thursdays. Yep.
No kidding.
No kidding.
They probably did that because of us.
Yeah. Well, I could stop us now.
They were scared.
Oh.
It won't save them.
No.
It won't save them at all. I will just be on it, man. I will be on it. I don't know.
I can't wait for the fucking Orville to come out. God, it's too long.
Oh, me too. I don't know. For Picard, we might want to start having a special Thursday edition or something. I don't know. Maybe
yeah.
It's so bad that we may want to pounce on it. I don't know.
Yeah. And we're going to get shit in the beginning. So it'll be just like when we first criticized Star Trek, and then when we first criticized Doctor Who, you get initially tons of clapback. Like even with Game of Thrones, tons of clapback. And then a couple episodes in, they're like, Okay. You know, you see the like to dislike ratio on the videos changing drastically.
Right.
Yeah.
Like on Game of Thrones, right?
Oh yeah, we were getting blasted on the after the third episode, which that was enough for me. I was like out, and
I knew it instantly, dude.
Yep, and people were still hanging on though. But I love
No.
it was not the last episode. People were done after
Mhm.
it was the second to last episode. People freaking were like, what? When they killed the dragon. I think that did it, man. When Daenerys' dragon got killed, she kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet, which is going to go down in history. That's going to go on DUH's grave. By the way, if you're going to go see Gemini Man, everybody, David Benioff wrote that. David Benioff.
No, I can't do that.
I can't go to Joker till tomorrow. Dang it, says Psycho Dwarf 9, $2. Well, at least you get to go tomorrow. It's okay. It's okay. You'll get to go, and it'll be cheaper. You can go like on a matinee. Nicholas Horton for £5. Hail Gary, hail DC, hail Harvey. Can't wait to see what goes in the rack this week, including Batwhammon. JPRPH1, $1.99. Hail Gary and Doomcock and Harvey. Thank you very much. Captain Spire for $5. Gary, was it really true what you said about those panels at New York and how they view us fans? Also, yes, I'm still working at the same job for 13 years. Well, good. I'm glad you're, are you happy? That's the most important. Do they pay you well? And are you happy? So what they were saying at that one panel, yeah, it absolutely was true. We had one gentleman say, this is, being at a Comic-Con, this is a creative. For one, they were all bitching. They said, can we be on more than just diversity panels? So they come off as ungrateful little whelps, is what they are. This is I don't want to besmirch millennials. I'm going to call it the daycare culture. This is the daycare culture that wasn't raised by their parents. And listen, I had to put my kid in a daycare too for a little while. I didn't make it permanent, because I knew I didn't want him to grow up in an environment like that. And we get a bunch of little whelps, who just think they're fucking owed everything. And what they were saying at this panel was, I'll give you the gist of it. We live in a white supremacist society currently. I always thought they were talking like hyperbole. Or they were when they're talking about Nazis, I'm convinced. I'm like, well, they couldn't be talking about me because shit, I'm not a Nazi, and
Right.
But they are. They're talking about me. They're talking about Doomcock. They're talking about you, and they don't care what color your skin is. If you interact with the Fandom Menace, then you are not worthy of a conversation. You are not worthy of my empathy. You are earned a punch in the face because you're a Nazi. That's what they said. And now none of these people put in a one-on-one situation would ever say that shit to anybody face to face. Of course, they were all big and badass because they were with their little friends in a panel. And
right.
Listen, for one,
safety in numbers, right, punks?
They are incredibly ignorant. That's the thing is they're a lot of them are in their 20s. So a 20-year-old is like a teenager with rent. That's it. I'm sorry, but they have a lot of living to do still, but it's still it's what's ruining fandom. And they try to say it's us, but they know it's them. They know they're being disingenuous. The thing, and it's a section of nerds that's always been there too. The angry nerds, the ones that want to lash out, the ones that become what they hated. They hated the jocks for kicking their ass. And the thing is, there's a time in your life where you grow up and you realize that these people don't have power over me. Nobody has power over me. No, I have all the power. So if somebody's giving me shit, or if somebody else is making me feel bad, it's because I let them. It's because I let them. So you just got to flip that around. Yeah, and that's it. You don't give a shit what people say, but they want the world to adapt to them individually. They want it's very strange. I can't. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around that. They don't want to be individuals. They want to be a collective, but they want the world to collectively bend the knee to their individuality. I don't know where this logic comes from. Again, I blame their parents or the parents not being there, but this panel was eye-opening. It was everything the Fandom Menace is about in one fucking panel. And I can't wait to get you guys the sound bites when I have time. And Quarterback Garrett is working on something for his channel. And look, I'm going to wait till they do that, because they should put their stuff out first, and then me and Jeremy are probably going to do something. I think Quarterback will join us, and we'll talk about it, because man, it was eye-opening. But it was also not eye-opening, confirming. It just confirmed a lot of shit that we already knew. But yes, it's true what they said. Whiteness is a problem. Whiteness is a problem. I sometimes I need to sit in the corner and get away from all the white people.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
sure.
good. I say that shit all the time.
God knows, I was personally responsible for slavery.
Yeah.
Definitely. And of course, I'm part of the, white power elite, which is why I'm on YouTube making videos for pennies.
Well, your privilege.
Of course. Well, absolutely. Of course.
Oh, actually, we're going to start every Inquisition.
That's why I have to make the big money over at CNN or MSNBC or Warner Brothers or Fox, or because God knows I have so many movie contracts right now. Because I'm part of the club, of course, because I'm white. Sure. Yeah. As are you.
Yeah. Oh my God. My privilege.
How's the yacht?
Oh, so awesome. And I get let in the front of line for everything, especially in front of POCs. If a POC is there, I just go right in front of the line.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't pay taxes.
Right.
Great.
It's just like Eddie Murphy when he went undercover as a white man. And it's like when the person of color gets off the bus and the party breaks out and they pass out free champagne, and of course nobody has to pay for the bus. Sure. So absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm glad you brought up that, because after we get for a couple super chats, we are going to Doomcock and I have a special place in our black heart for The Watchmen coming out from HBO. And
don't make me yell again,
Damon. Oh, you better be ready. It's gonna be a rough night for you, buddy. We got Batwoman coming up, and Damon.
I'm drinking rather heavily, Gary. By the way, I just want you to know. I'm sorry.
Don't try.
My tongue is weird. It changes with the weather, and right now the Elijah Craig small batch is just. It's really appealing, so I apologize.
That's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Does anybody in the chat care? I don't care. As long as you're happy and healthy, that's all we care about. And I'm entertained. Are you guys? I'm fucking entertained as hell.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Okay. So a couple more super chats, and then we'll get to the Deadline article from a couple days ago, which there's a little good news in it, though. There's a little good news, but it's like a little piece of good news wrapped in a giant.
Wokeman is going to be the worst goddamn thing. I think it's going to. Never mind. Go ahead.
It's going to be bad. Awesome meeting you, Gary, at the New York Comic Con meetup, says Daxamite. It was awesome meeting you too. God, that's my favorite part of the con. Again, I honestly, we only went in the con for like a couple hours. We hung out with you guys. Jeremy's a beast. We hung out with Mikey Woods like all day. It was great. Thanks, Daxam. Christopher Arcella for $20. Hey, Gary, I want to just say that it was an honor and a great privilege meeting you at the hangout with you and the gang. I had a fantastic time. Looking forward to doing it again sometime in the future. Thanks for the hat. You are welcome. Enjoy the hats. I brought some swag, and people seem to like it. And Christopher, it was brilliant meeting you. Okay, it was. Thank you so much, and thank you for the $20. Criminal Imagination for 10 Canadian pesos. Joker was art imitating life. It's only been 2 days later, and life imitates art. Thanks, Lame Stream Media, for proving the film right. Also, shout out to the fantastic Frank Sinatra song. I sang along. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Rongno for $5, nothing to say, but he left. But thank you for the $5 donation. I greatly appreciate it. Echo Base Network for $4.99. Thanks for making that video, or not. About me and Jeremy. That was pretty funny, actually. Mrs. Nerdrotic liked it a lot, guys. Glad to see you made it back from New York. Okay, was going to see the Joker today, but won't make it till Tuesday. Are you guys going to be skipping Birds of Prey? Oh, fuck no, man. Dude, I'm going to monetize the hell out of that shit. I am going to review it. I'm all over it because we need to shame it out of existence. I think it's going to flop like horribly. So, I mean, Margot Robbie's
a movie or a TV show?
It's a movie.
Okay, well,
yeah,
that'll be easy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's going to suck.
Yeah. Shit. Mr. Miles, Chief Engineer for $2. Hello from Team Anti-Trekker. What's up, Team Anti-Trekker? And Mr. Miles, the man in the invisible Star Trek hoodie, or the invisible man in the Star Trek hoodie. It's not invisible. I hope Anti-Trekker gets better, and look forward to seeing videos soon. He's got to get better. He's got short treks to review and shit. Lubella for $5. Joker is great mind F. Which is Joker is a great mind F, which is entirely fitting for the Joker. Friend and I are still debating what happened. Also, Super Rat needs to join Super Friends, right? Yes, and I'm still debating in my head what happened, and that's why I said I need to see it again, because I feel like while I enjoyed it thoroughly, I didn't see the entire film. I don't feel like I saw it all.
Right.
You know?
Well, I will be settling that in my video tomorrow. I will be laying out my theory of my master theory of the film, and you can see what you think of the case I make.
I will let you know. The one thing I truly loved, I won't tell you what specific it was in that final 20 minutes that I said was phenomenal. They actually did something with the character of the Joker that it was always in my head canon. Because the Joker should never have a definitive origin. He never will have a definitive origin, but the way they played it in this film, holy shit, that was perfect. And it's almost a little bit of a nod to Nolan's or Heath Ledger's Joker, where he's like telling different origins, where I got these scars.
Sure.
And my headcanon origin for the Joker was the minute well, you could play with this, but the minute Bruce Wayne identifies as Batman mentally in his head, like he's like, I'm Batman now. That when that line was crossed, like I'm no longer Bruce, I'm Batman. The Joker switched on somewhere. He was just like some catatonic something nobody at Arkham or something, and he just switched on as a balance in the universe. You can't have a Batman without the Joker, blah blah blah. And that's the way I've always saw it. I've never wanted to know an origin. He was there because Batman existed, and the duality of blah, 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 which I don't fully understand, but I just know that there's a balance, and you can't have this man on a mission, which is all about order and discipline. That's why what Tom King did to fucking Batman is a god. You want to talk about crimes to canon. Ooh, fuck Tom King. And he's completely ruined the character. But Batman does need a balance for the other side, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just from reading a lot of comics.
No, it's a good take on it. Absolutely.
Loquacious Primate, here he is for $5. Hail, Gary and Doomcock. Just got back from the second seeing Joker a second time. Fantastic work of art. So much depth. And thanks, Gary. The cookie was tasty. I'm glad you like the cookies. Awesome. I brought cookies too. All right, let's get to this shitty article. Enough of these entertaining and fun and nice super chats. Let's get pissed off again. Shall we?
Sure.
Okay.
I guess.
Now, I read this while I was standing in line at con, and this is from Comic-Con. This is from New York Comic-Con, and it is by the way, here I gotta say, there we go, I'm Batman. I had to get that chat down. It was up, so okay, I was looking up Regina King. Regina King seems like a nice lady, fine actress. She's gonna be a superhero with no powers. She's a 50-year-old woman kicking the shit out of 300-pound men. If she has superpowers, then I'm fine with that. If they give her an origin and she has powers, but if she's just like a human, she would die. And I know they did that with Silk Spectre too, and I had problems with that too, but believe me. Watchmen series creator Damon Lindelof on Classic Comic for America 2019, Regina King and Future of the Hunt, New York Comic Con. Now, when you find out what this is what the Watchmen's going to be about. Now, they showed the Watchmen at New York Comic Con. They screened it at Comic Con, and you notice there hasn't been a lot of talk about it. Like, people have seen the show. There's just there's no talk about it. I have it from very good authorities that this is a giant shit show. Like, this thing is awful. Like, awful out the gate. Writing off losses bad.
Oh my goodness.
Now listen to what you hear Lindelof say in this, and it might back some of that up.
Okay.
I hope that we made something original. Okay, so we're starting out by we're making a sequel based on characters that were actually based on another thing, which are based on Charlton characters, but he wants to make something original. I guess you could, maybe.
Sure.
Something surprising, something engaging, something worthy of discourse, something dangerous, something interesting. All the adjectives that I can affix to the original Watchmen. God, do you think that was his pitch?
Declares Damon Lindelof.
Lindick.
Landel, fuck off.
Yep. Of the HBO series that is set to make its world debut today at New York Comic Con, based on Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons' acclaimed and genre-shattering comic from the 1980s. This Watchmen from the Leftovers co-creator is distinctly set in America, in an America of 2019, an alternate history America, a nation where Robert Redford has been president for decades, where there is a lot less technology. If Robert Redford was president, we wouldn't exist. There was a lot less technology distracting people, where politics, where police wear masks, and where superheroes once walked the earth. Premiering on the premium cable in October 20th, the Tulsa set. Okay, so let's stop right there. Tulsa, Oklahoma is the center of this. Tulsa. Why not Moscow, South Dakota?
Because it was cheap, Gary, because then they didn't have to have the blimps filling the skies, and they didn't have to have all the, like futuristic versions of New York skyscrapers, because Tulsa, Oklahoma is going to look like Tulsa, Oklahoma, fucking 300 years from now. It's just flat and not a lot there. So it's cheap.
So Ozymandias moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Well, more bang for your buck property wise. Sure.
Hey, nothing against Tulsa, Oklahoma. Beautiful town. I just don't think that it's epicenter of superheroes.
Rich.
Yes.
It's not the Riviera of the Midwest.
So there's a reason it's set in Tulsa, though, and you'll find out. And Regina King-led Watchmen also unveils a nation that has seen reparations paid to the African Americans and the return of a white supremacist group called the 7th Cavalry to plague the land and its citizens.
I'm so glad that we've paid reparations. That's just so special,
isn't it? Though, I mean,
because I should be taxed for things that happened hundreds of years before I was born. That seems reasonable. Sure.
I want reparations from the Middle East then for enslaving Northern Europeans.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 years ago, was it? Maybe 1,200 years ago. Yeah. I want my reparations from that, please.
Yeah. I want reparations from Lucasfilm and CBS for breaking my fucking heart. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. I actually do want that. Yeah. At NYCC for a panel and screening Friday, Lindelof sat down with it might have been like 5,000.
Did you see the screening?
No. I truly want to wait. Like with The Expanse, I kind of know what happens anyway with the books and stuff, but with the Watchmen, I want to have a complete visceral review with you. I want to go in there clean, not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus I would talk about it. I wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Expanse fans. I'm going to blab about the episode, but it's not going to spoil anything. Lindelof sat down with me to talk about the long shrouded in secrecy series and what's the story behind the story he and HBO are telling in the 9 episodes of the Lewis Gossett Jr., Don Johnson, Jeremy Irons, and Hong Chow co-starring show. The Lost alum. There you go, Doomcock, right there. The Lost alum also addressed being the white guy in the room. If there will be more reasons or more seasons of Watchmen and the fallout from the hunt, which has suddenly pulled I didn't know this was pulled for good by Universal in August after controversially, I thought it was like still in limbo. Controversy exploded around the politically themed thriller. Watchmen has been kept undercover more than a presidential call to the Ukraine of late. That line didn't last long. Dribbles here and there, but today you're previewing the series at New York Comic-Con, so now it's going public. Is this ultimately the Watchmen you wanted to make? Lindelof, I honestly don't know if this is the Watchmen that I wanted to make. The honest answer is sometimes I feel like, yes, we got very, very close to it. And at other times, I'm hanging my head against the wall in frustration. I don't know if the audience is going to have a similar experience.
Oh, my God.
He's selling it, man. He's fucking selling it.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Then he goes, I do feel like the show itself is like a Rorschach test. You'll see in it what you want to see in it. I think that hardcore fans of the Watchmen, devotees like
like himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hardcore fans of the Watchmen don't want this to exist in any way, shape, or form. Period. Devotees like myself will have a much different experience than people who had no familiarity with Watchmen. I hope that by the end of this 9 episodes, that we'll see is a very opposite poles. Deadline. That's a little cryptic. Lindelof laughs. Well, does this show deserve to stand shoulder to shoulder with the original 12 issues? I'm the least qualified person on the planet to say that. I agree. You're the least qualified person on every level. I hope that we made something original, something surprising, something engaging, something worthy of discourse, something dangerous, something interesting. All the adjectives I can affix to the original Watchmen. Most of all, it's something original. Again, I am not qualified to say that. I am proud of what we did, and I'm also very nervous about it. Deadline. You have spoken about this is not a version of Alan Moore and David Gibbons' iconic comic and the swirling issues of white supremacy and American history that you wanted to tackle. In concocting your own Watchmen, how did those themes come to the fore for you? Lindelof, the beginnings of the idea for the season of Watchmen, and comic fans, you're going to cringe when you hear this. Just be ready. Started with the question of what's the political landscape in 2019 versus the political landscape of the mid 80s. What is the undefeatable evil that superheroes can never defeat? So that was another question that was sort of swirling around in my head.
White people.
Yes.
White people. That's
obviously
what it is.
So you know where he got his inspiration from? Then I was reading a lot of Ta-Nehisi Coates.
I think Eddie Murphy summed it up most succinctly, Gary, on Saturday Night Live when he sang "Kill the white people." Kill
the white man.
Yeah, I think basically he summed it up nicely. The entire body of Ta-Nehisi Coates' au revoir, as we say.
Kill my landlord. Kill my landlord. C-I-L, my landlord.
Doggy barking. Do we bite? Kill my landlord. Kill my landlord.
I read his book Between the Worlds and Me and all of his essays in the Atlantic. Well,
good for you.
Good for you. So he read some essays, and that's what he based the Watchmen on. What effect did that have? The one that stayed with me is the case for the reparations In that article, as I mentioned at TCA, he wrote about the raiding of Black Wall Street in 1921. Now, I had never heard of Black Wall Street and Tulsa, Oklahoma. And what are these things? I looked it up on the internet. Then I ordered
this Tulsa, Oklahoma you speak of.
Yes. Well, he probably doesn't know. Oh, it exists. Then I ordered some books and I read them. I felt compelled by the story.
Don't correct them. Don't correct deadline. Then I ordered some book.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I mean, you're compensating for their lack of literacy. This is the meticulous linguistic regimen that they subject their articles to. So I ordered some book. I read his book. I ordered some book and I read them. Yeah.
Yeah. I ordered some book. I think he meant to say I ordered some Coke. Maybe they corrected him. I felt compelled by the story. Now I'm sure that many more talented people than I, which is pretty much the entire population of planet Earth, yes. Has been trying to make a story out of this. But if I were to tell this story, no, talented people wouldn't touch this story. They wouldn't want anything to do with this story. You were what was left, dude. You were the leftover, Damon Lindelof. But if I were to tell the story in the context of a larger, wider known pop culture franchise, maybe it would come to more people's attention. You see, using our pop culture, using something that was already a message. It was a message about superheroes and its time, and there was a political message. But then you're going to use it you're just recycling it for another political message and forcing one that it was never meant to interpret in. It's God damn, this makes my brain hurt. Then everything kind of went into the stew, the Watchmen stew, Doomcock. And this Watchmen came out.
Just like poop out of an anus. We put in some stew and this is what came out. I call it Watchmen. Yeah.
It's a shart.
Mm-hmm.
It was a shark.
It's basic. The thing is, he says that in this time, reparations have been paid. Correct?
Yep.
So this is the story he wants to tell. Well, if the reparations are already fait accompli by the time the story has been told, then why? I mean, what are we doing? That's like background now. So it's not really telling the story of reparations. It's just telling the denouement.
No, it's a virtue signal within the narrative. Look,
hey, look, reparation, and yet it hasn't made everyone sing Kumbaya and hasn't made the world all a better place.
I hope everybody recognizes that that's just a rich white guy going, look, I put reparations in my story. Please don't come after me when the revolution comes. Please don't burn down my mansion. You noted that a number of people, and I don't think there's going to be a revolution, by the way.
I don't either.
You noted that a number of people in recent years have looked into telling the horrible and hidden history of the racist massacre that occurred in the Greenwood neighborhood of Tulsa almost 100 years ago. Are you concerned about being the white guy now telling that tale in the lens through which you're telling the tale?
And he says all the time, constantly.
Yeah.
May I give a dramatic reading of
Please
that
do.
paragraph?
Please. Oh God, take it. Go.
Are you concerned about being the white guy now telling that tale in the lens through which you're telling that tale? All the time, constantly, over and over again, not just while I was incepting it, but while I was making it, and certainly now. This is sort of like the first interview on the first hardcore full day of press, and all I think about is how I'm going to answer that question, because it's a reasonable question to ask, but I'm ready to answer it. I take full responsibility for the show, but the Watchmen pilot, and in fact the entire season, was thought out and questioned and challenged and debated vigorously in a writer's room of 12 talented and smart individuals. Well, right there you've lost me, because that's a lie. Continue, Gary. I'm sorry.
No, 12 smart.
And smart. Listen to that sentence construction. In a writer's room of 12 talented and smart individuals. That is so cumbersome. and inept phrasing.
And that's a writer. This is a writer.
Oh well, of course he's a hell of a writer, Gary. He's showing it in every line.
He really is.
Yeah.
Again, really selling this show. I'm sure everybody wants to see it now. Deadline. Speaking of smart and talented individuals, Watchmen is a reunion of the creative collaboration you started with Regina King on The Leftovers. In telling a story of a seminal event in African American history, what has that relationship been like this time around? Obviously, I think Regina is a lot more equipped to talk about the trust on her end. It doesn't really require any trust on my end because I know that it's Regina King. I mean, not only have I worked with her before The Leftovers, but someone who is prone to hyperbole. She is one of the world's greatest living actors. She's got the hardware to prove it now.
Who?
Regina King
is one of the world's greatest living actors. Then why haven't I heard of her before?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. I mean, I'm fairly involved in thespianism, and I admire great acting. So the fact that I've never heard of her before probably means maybe she's not really one of the world's greatest living actors. But I don't know. She's got the hardware to prove it now. What is she got, like acting armor? What is she, robo actor? What the fuck does that mean? She's got the hardware to prove it now. I am here to act. I've come here to act and to chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Oh, that this too solid flesh should melt. Jesus Christ.
Hollywood speak. Regina, was she a fan of Moore and Gibbons comics? This is a very long no. Regina actually came to this material without a lot of knowledge about Watchmen.
Oh, well, that's helpful. That's helpful.
So that means she didn't even.
Sure.
What's a Watchmen?
Give a shit about Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think if memory serves, she may have seen the Zack Snyder movie, which means she doesn't. No, she's not seen it.
She's got a PhD in Walkman now.
Yep. She certainly hadn't read the graphic novel, so the pilot script was the first thing that she read. Oh, she didn't read the graphic novel
and
prior to that
for its authenticity as a result, Gary.
Yes. She had been actually, unbeknownst to me, been developing a project about Black Wall Street. So when she saw the pilot opened up the way it did, she was like, is that from Watchmen? I can't believe this. Right. So that led to, as you might know, a very intense conversation between she and I. We met for dinner, and it ended up being about a 5-hour-long conversation about what I was trying to do. Well, so much for a quick pitch then. Then it was her choice as to whether or not she wanted to jump in. She was pretty game on for it. I'm guessing. Yeah. Starring role in an HBO show. I'm sure she was just wavering on that. So again, as far as me trusting Regina, not a problem. And then that was in front of me.
I think she should play Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and then her slogan could be "Lame on."
Deadline in a show sprinkled, it seems, with characters from Moore's work. You also have another Oscar winner, Jeremy Irons, in the cast as the comic genius and almost world killer Adrian Veidt, aka Ozymandias. How will that connect to the Tulsa tale? First off, we're not officially confirming that he's playing on Ozymandias, and Deadline says, okay. Therefore, all I can say is the storyline featuring Jeremy is not the parallel to the Tulsa storyline. By parallel, I mean there are two storylines that are running, and they'll never ever meet. Okay.
Well, that is real cohesion right there. That's great. They will never ever meet. Wonderful.
They are on a collision course with one another. Okay, I'm really confused now.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That graphic alone is making me want to actually retch so hard that my lungs fly out of my mouth. Just that graphic with Lindelof and, in the kind of, Dave Gibbons kind of, 9-grid, panel layout, all these fucking actors. Jesus Christ.
If you took the Watchmen out from that side, I mean, word association, what does that panel look like to you?
The Brady Bunch or Hollywood Squares?
Yeah, Hollywood Squares. What the hell? That doesn't exactly scream Watchmen to me. I don't know, I'm just saying.
No.
They are on a collision course with one another. Jeremy Irons is a runaway train in many ways, both literal and figurative. He will, in fact, come colliding into the other story. Now, there's no doubt that Jeremy Irons is probably one of the best living actors, like an actual living good actor. What he's doing in this, he's probably got some kids to feed or has to buy another mansion. I don't know. To how and when that is going to happen, I am not going to say. It will definitely happen this season. So as a fan, I would be immensely disappointed if that didn't happen. But exactly where he is and when he is, what the fuck he's doing are all the questions that will get answered by season's end. Deadline in that, if a renewal was given, how many seasons is your Watchmen? I'm not being flippant when I say the answer is 1.
HBO realized the horrible mistake they made, and so I've already been canceled. So I'm not being flippant. I'm just being a failure.
Yeah, it was always meant to be 1.
Oh, sure.
But then why are you calling it a TV series and not an event or a limited series or
or a tragic mistake?
Or a tragic mistake. That's what it is. Does this mean that there isn't going to be any more Watchmen? Not necessarily. Does that mean that I'll be working on subsequent seasons of Watchmen? I don't know is the answer. Oh, so maybe HBO is thinking about more seasons, just not with him. Now the answer, I don't know the answer to that question. We designed these 9 episodes to be as self-contained as the original 12 issues. We wanted to feel there was a sense of completeness to resolve the essential mystery at hand. Obviously, there is a potential promise for the further exploration of the world, but like the seasons of Leftovers that I did as opposed to Lost, which was designed to be a cliffhanger finales and promise of future storytelling. It sounds like a lot of work to be one and done. No. Yes. When we all sat down in the room and talked about this season of Watchmen was going to be it required a tremendous amount of world building.
Sure.
Yeah, Tulsa.
Oh,
Oklahoma.
sure. A lot of world building. We had to really, really like rack our brains and come up with a flat landscape with a lot of, brown weeds growing. And we really constructed a credible alternate future of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It looks very much like regular Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yes, but we thought about it.
With reparations.
Yes, with reparations.
Yes. In terms of all the events that were inherited that occurred before November of 1985 when the book ends, or December, I guess technically, then we had to create a new sense of history from 85 to 2019, which we did, and then we had to actually write the show.
Which I'm sure was traumatic for you since you can't really write your way out of a wet paper bag.
No.
That was hard work.
We did all of that work, but we did not talk about what would happen beyond the resolution of the season's story. I feel like it was hard enough just to figure out how to do this season. So my hope is that when the season ends, that the audience will feel the same thing we did as storytellers, which is a feeling of completeness and resolution. Deadline. Resolution is something that it feels like you did not get on The Hunt, which Universal pulled in August from, do we want to talk about this? They pulled The Hunt, blah, blah, blah. Let's finish this one off. It's just the last one. Resolution is something that you did not feel when The Hunt was pulled, which Universal pulled in August from its September release as controversy, political and cultural swarmed the Greg Zabel directed thriller that you co-wrote. Where does that flick stand now? Lindelof, I understand that we're living in volatile times, but if I tried to avoid telling stories because they're controversial, I should probably retire. The Hunt is not the movie those who haven't seen it seem to think it is, and I genuinely hope people get to decide what it is for themselves. Deadline. People will see Watchmen for themselves on the second day of New York Comic Con. How are you feeling about finally opening it up to the world? I'm incredibly excited and very nervous. I've been having lots of very strange dreams.
Oh boy. I hate that son of a bitch.
It's going to be a shit show, man. That's going to be a
I
big
cannot wait for us to dissect every single goddamn episode.
Couple weeks, 3 weeks, 3
it's
weeks.
Gonna be painful, but I'll get through it. I'll get through it with you, buddy.
Oh, we'll make it, man.
We'll make it.
We'll make it together.
There's got to be a morning after.
That's right. I can't hit a note that high unless I punch myself in the balls. But that's because I used to smoke. Is it just me, or is the mainstream media trying to incite a violent act at the Joker movie with all of their speculative coverage and commentary of the past events? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think they're slavering for it.
Yep. JP Gradigas for $5. Yes, they are disappointed it didn't happen. And I think the movie exposed them further. I mean, those of us here in the Fandom Menace, and you hang out and watch a lot of people's videos, you know what's going on. You know what time it is. But there's a lot of normies out there who are very busy and working who don't. And you know what? This is why we have to be grateful for Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones added a lot of people to the Fandom Menace through those of us who covered it. Because I've got a huge, and so did Doomcock, and so did Jeremy. We got a lot of new subscribers who were just Game of Thrones fans, and I've had a lot of people emailing me and commenting to me that I came in through Game of Thrones. I had no idea this stuff was going on. It's unbelievable. And I think through each other, we're opening up other people's eyes to this, and that's awareness and acceptance helps us get over the hump of this ridiculousness, which is gonna I think Hollywood is starting to figure out that the shit isn't cool, and the access media has never been cool. I think unfortunately they've outlived their usefulness, a large portion of them, and the Joker just exposed them further. They're disappointed something didn't happen, and that's foul. Aaron Verkin for $2. Finished Expanse Book 6. Does PA appear in 7 and 8? Michio Pa? No. They end up getting rid of her because I think they realized, Aaron, she's a horrible character, like an awful character. I hope they don't bring her in the show because she's a terrible character. Troy Tempest, Australian, $5. Saw Joker yesterday and was stunned. Oscar worthy for sure. Joaquin's best performance since Johnny Cash. Hail Gary, hail Doomcock. Troy, you're right.
Hail.
Oh, and that was Troy Tempest. Ultra Raider 52 for $13.99 Canadian pesos. I just watched the new Spider-Man, and wow, is it bad? The horrible, terrible CGI. The Whammon didn't wear any makeup, which was funny. Thank God the Joker movie made my weekend. Hail Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, I think this is where, again, if they didn't have J.J. Abrams, this is where Warner Brothers and DC could differentiate themselves from Marvel and beat Marvel like a drum. They have so many stories they could just adapt, and so many ways they can play with their characters that Marvel can't because of they're with Disney now, so they're locked into this PG-13 thing forever, and DC can make rated R movies, make kids, they can do everything with their characters. They can adapt Mad Love if they wanted to, like, properly. Marvel can't do that shit. There's stories Marvel can't tell because the Chinese box office puts limitations on art, and anytime you limit art, this is where you get homogenous crap. Joker was not limited. They allowed Todd Phillips to do what the hell he wanted. And what Doomcock was talking about, so many movies nowadays and TV shows are producer driven and they're not director driven. The auteur director is something that's, kind of going away, and hopefully this brings it back. The White Wolf for £2. Hail to the Inquisitors, respect from Britannia. All right. Excellent. Eddie Sens for $4.99. If Universal fired somebody from the OK hand signs, does that mean they have to shut down the Harry Potter section because of the bowl cut? Maybe. Well, they might have to shut. What did I hear Disney was going to do? They're going to have somebody pre-read scripts to make sure they aren't offending anybody, basically misidentifying genders and all that stuff, getting the pronouns right. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they hired like somebody to pre-read scripts so they don't offend.
I just looked on Twitter and Disney sent out this fucking thing. November 5th is going to be The Little Mermaid Live. The Little Mermaid Live. And holy shit, it looks just fucking awful. You've got Auli Cravalho as Ariel, who is looks basically, I think, Asian. Queen Latifah as Ursula. Shaggy as Sebastian. John Stamos, well, there's a name for theater, as the chef. Graham Phillips as Prince Eric. Oh my God.
Queen Latifah as Ursula.
Yeah, they're gonna do a version of The Little Mermaid live. So it's not even. So they're basically gangbanging The Little Mermaid. They're not only making the movie with Ariel of color, but now they're doing a live version to further bastardize it ahead of the bastardization to come. Can you look at this shit? Yeah, thank you for putting that up. That's the tweet I'm looking at. Jesus Christ. Look, that's Ariel. Right. Looks just like Ariel.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah. Well, Jesus Christ. Ursula wasn't of any particular race. She was white. Stark white. It was just like kind of, oh my God.
That looks so bad.
Oh, they're going to do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Oh my God. That looks terrible. I feel like we're in Running Man for some reason. I just get it. I think we're there. Good God.
That looks like it is just going to be unbearably horrible in every way.
Every way.
I don't even think I can stand it. Oh my God. I watched live. I was like live commenting on my Patreon for when they did Jesus Christ Superstar live. And they had John Legend as Jesus.
What?
Yeah. Which is fine if he'd bothered to show up and sing the goddamn thing. But he took every shortcut that he could. I mean, they changed the key on stuff so that he could hit it because Jesus has a very high part. Just utterly and completely exhibited nothing but contempt and disrespect for Jesus Christ Superstar, which is one of my favorite things of all time. And I couldn't stomach it. I just quit. So this is going to give it a run for its money. They've never done a good musical live on these TV shows. They try to do them around holidays and stuff. They stink. Oh my God. Peter Pan. Did you see that live?
No.
It had Christopher Walken as Captain Hook.
Oh, what?
And you would think that would be fantastic. But I mean, he literally phoned it in. I mean, he really was. He had no energy. He didn't give a shit. He was sleepwalking through the part. It was embarrassing.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And well, this might actually be worth watching then, just for the cringe.
It's gonna be bad.
I can handle it.
Oh, it hurts. It's gonna hurt.
It is gonna hurt. So hang on, I'm doing something really quick to make sure we can watch Batwoman in a little bit. Okay, I've got that taken care of. And yeah, so what we're gonna do is, because we got to stop pretty soon, actually, so we can watch the show and then come back live. What's going to happen to this Inquisition is probably going to be put over on Nerdrotic Live. Don't forget to subscribe over there. That's where all my live streams go when things are done. And if I will do a super chat square up tomorrow in the evening, because I have like 2 videos to cut, and I'll cover whatever we don't get, but I'll try to get some. I'll try to get.
God, we got so much work.
Yeah. Oh, I know, dude. I could have done 9 videos this weekend.
I know so much.
Just so everybody knows, the next video you're getting, I actually did shoot it in my hotel room before I took off on my flight, because I couldn't wait to talk about the short trek. But I still got, we got Batwoman to cover, and then there's like I got to do an Expanse video, proper Expanse video, because it's been a while, and it deserves it. Something good deserves it. So Eddie sends for $4.99. If Universal fired somebody for the OK hand sign, I already read that one. Sorry, my bad. Hang on, let me stop sharing this aerial nonsense. But I will. But thank you again, Eddie sends for $4.99. Jedi Knight and friend of Alita for $2. The STD trailer has 1.5 million views, only 1,600 likes. That is fishy as so. Either people came in and just didn't care, but that's almost impossible.
What did they just?
He said the Star Trek. I'll go look it up. The Star Trek Discovery trailer has 1 million 0.5 over 1 million views. I can talk, and only has 1,000 likes, 1,600 likes. That is crazy. Hang on.
Out of 1 million views?
Out of 1 million views. Well, that's fishy as hell. Yeah, 1.5 million views, and it has dude, you're spot. Here we go, folks. I don't think that's even possible. Okay, unless you bought a bunch of likes over at China, or a bunch of views over at China, and just you didn't want to pay the extra for the likes. China. But yeah, I'm not
got those Russian bots like helping you out.
Yeah, look at that right there. Oh wait, hang on.
Oh my God, that's
I have to do my part. There we go.
you got out of all those views, only 1.7 thumbs up and 348 thumbs down. Well, I mean, I don't have a video, I don't think, with as bad a ratio as that.
No.
I don't think I have a single video that has that many thumbs down to thumbs up. Regardless of the views, my God.
Well, that's okay. So we got 1,700 likes to 400. So that's yeah, that's pretty bad. That would be there's your ratio right there. I would normally have percentages. I can't figure out the percentage in my head, but it'd probably be like 70% ratio, which isn't great, but it's not in the red. You're in the red if it's below 70. That's horrible engagement. That's the worst engagement. So I think those are fishy views, to be honest with you, in my opinion. But
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. So I mean, it's like what, bots and shit.
Yep. In my opinion, I think they got some bots.
By the way, isn't it a really wonderful, wonderful thing that these days Hollywood is hiring non-actresses for key parts in their shows? You know, I'm delighted that Rihanna is going to be Poison Ivy, because God knows her acting chops are so powerful. And of course, I'm really, really delighted that Rachel Maddow is going to be on Batwoman as a key part, you know, because Rachel, God knows, talk about respect for acting. Uta Hagen.
Her acting has been pretty good lately on CNN. It's been fiction.
I'm really glad that they didn't give the role to an actress, that they went ahead and gave it to Rachel Maddow, because God knows, you know, these actors, they have plenty of work. They they don't struggle all their lives and go to depths of emotion. Really work on their craft. It's just better to have Rachel. Just toss it to Rachel because God knows. Yeah, sure. That just fills me with confidence that this is going to be a very deep and authentic experience.
She plays a news commentator like she plays one in real life. Best
but it's still a part.
Yeah.
And getting an actress would maybe be a good idea, but fuck no. Hey, let's just have Rachel Maddow. Sure.
Dude, this is gonna be so bad. I can't wait to see this.
I can't even. It makes me angry. It makes me angry.
Regarding Gary's Joker review, I'd pay good money to see a movie where Batman fights the Woker. If the Joker is alt-right, I don't want to be the alt-wrong, says Narutakakin for $5. Thank you.
Narutakikun.
Narutakikun. JP Grotogix for $5. Fatty Arbuckle did nothing wrong. First Me Too in Hollywood history. Yes, but he actually did quite a bit. But Trooper Bear FN 2525 for $5. Saw another Picard trailer. Was it the one on Data's head? So we're to believe he hangs up his walker to go on one last ride, pack the diapers, and Ben Gay. Yeah. Again, he's 97 in the story. He's 97. You get what you effing deserve, said Arthur Fleck. You guys deserve a second super chat, says Narutakikan for $5. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Nikki D for $20. Joker was amazing. Can't understand the press's incessant need to promulgate a false white incel narrative. Shouldn't we praise these films that set themselves apart from the corporate schlock of Marvel and Lucasfilm? Yes, Nikki D, $20. Thank you very much. And yes, we need to praise good films.
Yes.
They still came from a major corporation. I really did like how they used the old Warner Brothers logo in the beginning. That was cool as hell.
And that was a signal that this is not going to be your typical movie. I loved it.
The Fandom Menace. Oh, I'm still sharing Rachel Maddow. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
That was cruel.
That was very cruel of me.
That was kind of a punishment that we inflict on, pop culture, right there.
Right there.
By the way, I think we should sentence Star Trek, Short Trek to be burned at the stake so that nothing remains, just to be sure.
I completely agree with that sentiment. I want to hear the screams of pain. I want it to be a slow burn. And God, we're getting fucking 5 more Short Treks. And it looks like Netflix isn't picking these ones up either, I heard. So we'll find out. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say, look, never mind.
Yeah.
I've been told some stuff about Star Trek Discovery season 3 and oh boy, what's coming.
Well, I will just say what I've guessed, not what I've heard. There was this narrative out there that they're going in the future and they're not going to mess with canon. They are going to completely fuck with canon. They are going, the fact that the Federation is mentioned in this, and it says it in the trailer that Mikey Spock is the key to everything. Doomcock, and she'll save the universe.
She's gonna save everything. She's the bestest ever. Even in the future, even the past ever means ever.
And wasn't she in the trailer? She's left on her own, and she's able to style her hair, that's always good.
Oh, all sorts of different. Yeah, her own hair.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe the suit can do that.
Yeah. Well, I understand that there was a beam that she was trying to appeal to, her being a plank meets beam. It was oak, I believe. and she really wanted to look her best.
Yes, she did.
She got the lathe out, and she like had curls on top of her head with the lathe. The trick was not like cutting them off completely. She would just like kind of push them, and they'd curl, and she'd leave them there. It just really, yeah, she's so feminine.
You should reshoot the trailer with your block of wood and just like, give it longer hair. The Fandom Menace gives a $2 super chat and says, "Hail, Doomcock and Gary. Hail to you, Fandom Menace. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you, and you will be coming on the live stream soon." Carrie Dalton for $2. Did you see the Le Creuset Star Wars cookware? The Dutch oven for $900. Drunk 3PO told me about it yesterday. Yeah, so affordable. But that's Star Wars. It's going to shit, but let's make some cookware. Ruin of House Roundhead for $4.99. What is up, my friend? And thank you for the tickets to Joker. I greatly appreciate it. It was nice meeting you. I'm glad I was able to take you and Jeremy to see the Joker movie. Good entertainment is rare these days, and you and Doomcock, as you and Doomcock well know, yes, it is rare, and it's good that we have it still. And God, I got to see the Joker in The Expanse in the same weekend, so I was pretty happy.
Yeah.
Chris Persia, Canadian $2. Vent Doomcock, let the venom out, and he did.
I did. It was yeah. Jesus Christ. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed. I mean, you get jaded, and you start to get inured to all this, and sometimes it just gets really clear to you, and then the outrage just springs out. I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah, this shit ain't planned. It's real. Doomcock is authentic, unlike Hollywood. Okay. So there's a couple more super chats I got to get to. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut it short. I will make them up. I don't like doing this. I'm sorry. We appreciate every super chat we get. It helps us. It allows us to do this full time, and it is a lot of fun. So I don't take this for granted. I don't take you guys for granted. So please understand. It's due to time constraints tonight. And again, I will make up for this. It will all get read on a live stream tomorrow. But I do have to jump ahead to one because it's $100. So give me just a second here, and I got to find it. TK for $100. Hail, Gary and Lord Doomcock. Have you been here for a while? So I'm making up for the haven't been here for a while, so I'm making up for the super chats I missed. Oh, you don't have to do that.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Yes, you're spot on about the universe created by Lee Kirby and Ditko. TK, thank you so much. That is extremely generous. I mean, we appreciate a dollar. I mean, you guys work hard for your money. You do. And I'm glad you find us entertaining. I'm grateful and honored and humbled. And it's weird. It doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real, but it's
no.
You guys are awesome. So let me get back up to where I was. Oh boy, we were on a roll tonight, my friend. Best time is now for $4.99. Are the STD writers full of agenda and experience? Are full of agenda, inexperience, incompetent, or really trolling the fans? I'd honestly like to know. Agenda, yes. Inexperience, yes. Incompetence, yes. Trolling fans, I think.
Yes, in the latter parts of it, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're just worthless, really.
Yeah. Fixie Clary for $5 says Lord Doomcock speaks truth always. I need an STD-T for Demon Scythe Synthwave and with Alex Kurtzman hammering in the D into STD, just like Kathleen hammering the J into Star Wars.
SJW, yes.
SJW, gotcha. Trooper Bear FN 2525, thank you for the $5. And yes, we do. So we're going to end it there, folks. And from Daxamite on down to who was the last one? Mary, we saw yours in there. Sorry. Nicholas Horton. I'll take care of you guys and gals tomorrow.
Is the idea we're coming back to talk about Batwoman or
hang on just a second. It's probably the internet connection. Do I sound like a robot to you?
You briefly, yeah, it got kind of funky, but
yeah, that's our stupid freaking internet. Hang on. No, I'm completely plugged in. That's terrible. Yeah, so sorry about that if I roboted on you. Mrs. Nerdrotic came in to tell me. Let me close out some windows. It's probably because I had a website up with tons of ads, and that it should still not happen. Yeah, I've got issues. They're gonna have to rewire my house, which sucks. All right, so I'll get to the rest of those, and we will be back in about an hour, and we'll talk about Batwoman for about 30 minutes.
Batwoman.
So we'll be right back here. Doomcock, I will send you an email.
All right.
Everybody in the chat, everybody, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for joining us on the Exozone 19. We will be back on my channel next week, but then when we have The Watchmen, we'll be on Doomcock's channel in 2 weeks. So Exozone returns this week as well on Thursday, and everything's going to be proven. No more traveling for me. I'm done for a while. I'm staying home. It is go time now. October started. We got Wokeman coming out. We got Batwoman. Star Wars will be out. Then Picard after that. Then Doctor Who after that. It's on, folks. It's on. The battle is not over, but we are winning some battles. So that means you know what? When you win a battle, you don't take your foot off the gas pedal. You know, that's like in small business. When you have a good month, there's no time for relaxing. Same with YouTube. There's no time for relaxing. Relax when you're dead. You hit the gas pedal, you hit it hard, you keep going. And that's what we have to do in the Fandom Menace, because there's blood in the water now, folks. Hate to put it like that, but there is. And we just have to keep going. It's not an easy fight. This stuff didn't happen overnight, remember? So we're not going to defeat it overnight. And when I mean defeat it, it's what we all mean. We just want our entertainment back. We're tired of this woke bullshit. And, you know, you go to the con, I went to the con. It could have been discouraging because there's still a lot of it there, but that's not where you're going to see it. You're seeing it with the Joker, the David Chappelle effect. It's the pebble. How did Gandalf put it? It's the pebble that starts an avalanche. That's what's happening right now. You want to plug your channel, buddy?
My channel is youtube.com/Overlord DVD. Also, youtube.com/The Harvey Zone. Please subscribe. It helps us to grow. And also, I've got patreon.com/Doomcock, subscribestar.com/Doomcock as well.
Awesome. All right. So this will be going over to Nerdrotic Live. So don't forget to subscribe to Nerdrotic Live, or at least go watch it over there. And we'll be back in about an hour. Keep an eye on Twitter, and I will let you guys know when we're going live. I'll probably set it up about 30 minutes prior. All right.
Good.
All right, my friend. Thank you again. Good night, everybody. And not all who wander are lost.